Hello, everyone. Welcome to GDQ Hotfix. This is the second day of our Celeste Expert Lockout Bingo tournament. We had 4 matches yesterday for our round 1. Today, we're going to be seeing the 2 semifinals matches and a best of 3 finals. We just have some amazing Celeste players here. We also have, people on commentary who are going to be explaining what's going on, giving us the deep analysis of all the bingo matches. So if you were here yesterday, welcome back. If this is your first time seeing Celeste Bingo, you're in for a treat because these matches have been absolutely incredible, and I know they're going to continue to be awesome today. Before we jump into our bingo matches, I want to remind everyone that One and Done-a-thon is coming up again. That's where you can submit to show off your favorite run, and then you're never allowed to come back to One and Done-a-thon again. The second installment's going to be happening on August 13th and 14th, and submissions are open now until July 20th. So you got 3 more days for those submissions. Be sure to get those in. And speaking of marathons, Flame Fatales is going to be having its next all-women speedrunning marathon from August 21st to 27th. The marathon schedule is out now, so you can type !FF in chat to get more information about that awesome group. And if you're a woman in the audience that wants to join our community, you can always reach out and let us know. We can get you an invite there as well. And prize submissions for Flame Fatales just opened up, so if you want to submit some of your amazing art or trinkets you have, be sure to go to gamesdonequick.com, click on the link to see the prize guide and how you can submit prizes. But I think with that, we're pretty much ready to get started with our first semifinal match of the day. I'm super excited for this. And the 2 commentators, we're going to start off the day. We've got Crab and TrueGen. How are the 2 of y'all doing?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. This is going to be so much fun. Day 2.
Yeah. So, hello, everyone. This is Celeste Lockout. This is not Celeste any %. The goal of this bingo format, in a minute, you'll see a board on your screen. 25 objectives, 5x5. Goal is 1st to 13. The rules of Lockout are, if you tick off an objective, your opponent is no longer allowed to tick it off. So we're not really interested in getting 1 line or 3 lines or whatever. It really is just a strategic race to be the 1st to 13 objectives. TrueGen?
Hello. I'm counting, so
Yep.
give me a moment. Don't worry.
Yeah, we just need to wait for our players to get ready here.
Yeah, so of course, if you have any questions, be sure to put them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them. And this is going to be an absolute blast. We're just about ready for our first match. So whenever we're ready, TrueGen, count us down.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Awesome.
We're off.
So, looking at the board, we do separate the route on most of these boards into early game, mid game, and late game. What do you see on early game here, TrueGen?
Let's see. T1 crossing. Most people skip that because it's quite lengthy that early into the game. I don't see too much early on, to be honest.
Yeah, I do also see get 2 1-ups, which is possible to get early on. But I think you're right. For the most part, it seems that there isn't a lot of rush potential for early game objectives, and we might see players try to get into chapters 3, 4, and 5 as quickly as possible.
It's mostly miscellaneous stuff, honestly, like across the entire board. It's like Golden Ridge, Blue Heart, All Base and Club Phase, stuff in Ridge.
Yeah.
Some fast stuff in Resort, like Fine Blaster and Pico Mass. Pico 8 and Huge Mass.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, really.
Yeah, looking into potential synergy routes on this board, I do see 45 berries, 75 berries. So getting berries along the way, and then maybe wrapping up 75 berries with 20 berries in 7A seems like a good potential route. There is also some B-side objectives with 4 cassettes, complete 5 B-sides, complete 2 B-sides. There's 6B, 7B, all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, it's Temple Cassette as well. So there's
I like how different this board is from a lot of stuff we saw yesterday too. I think this is going to be really cool in terms of routing.
Yeah, this board definitely has 2 potential mid-game routes. I see a good amount of 3A stuff.
Yeah.
Looking at the players, Nikki looks like she's getting some 1-ups here. Going for a pretty risky strat called Progress 1-up, where you collect the berries along the way in the first chapter instead of immediately going for the 1-up. Meanwhile, Goombs immediately rushes for Talk to Theo and Crossing and takes it off.
I'm really impressed by this 1-up
Yeah,
going
this
on
1-up
here.
is actually
This
sick.
is
Like,
amazing.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
I don't think I've seen this.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
Progress 1-up is super cool. It's definitely an expert level strat, but yep, and spreading out the collects there
Oh,
together.
that's so
Wow.
cool. Okay.
That was excellent.
That was extremely cool. I like that a lot.
Boss is definitely a 1-up connoisseur.
I can tell, for sure.
Yep. And so something interesting to point out here, though, is that the players traded the 2 early game objectives that we saw, but since Boss went for the more risky progress 1-up, she is ahead in progress.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah. Good stuff. So, moving on to chapter 2, there really isn't very much to do.
You could maybe get the cassette. You probably want the bino because there's usually binos on the board.
Yeah.
Apart from that, there's 7 wings on the board, so you want all cassette and wings. But apart from that, there's not a lot into it.
Yeah. So, looks like both Nikki and Goombs will be just rushing through 2A. Could go for maybe some cassettes, but honestly, looking forward into 3A and 4A, those chapters seem a lot more powerful. Although Boss is opting to get, or Nikki is opting to get the cassette in 2A here. Yeah, and just like that, Goombs has overtaken Nikki in the progress race.
Yeah, someone mentioned in chat, getting the 2 1-ups does also bring you closer to 45 berries, which is on the board. That's actually relevant.
Yeah.
There's a lot of berry stuff on the board, actually. All collects on 1A, all collects on both in 3A, all berries in cliff phase, 45 berries, 75 berries,
Yeah.
20 berries in 7A. Yeah, that's quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, Berry Route definitely looks like it could be pretty strong with this board. And
that's what's tough. There's a lot of berry routes, but there's also a lot of B-side routes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those don't combine well. You got to kind of pick what you're doing.
yeah, and so far Boss has committed to both, at least a little bit, between getting the 1-ups and the old site cassette, and Goombs has not really gone for either. This makes me think that Goombs might be going for 3A early on, because 3A has a good amount of stuff that Goombs might want to be rushing here. I see a huge mess order, Stone Shiro 10 times, and a couple of Pico 8 objectives.
Yeah,
that are
Fine
in
Letter
Pico 8.
and Pico 8, huge mess, and that's like, I think, a couple Pico 8 stuff alongside it.
Yep.
You reach old site.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a pretty fast Pico 8 objective, but it also sets Goombs up for all collectibles in 3A and 7 winged berries.
So it's also bad for 7 wings, so.
Yep. And Goombs does enter Resort.
Not
Nikki is not far
surprised.
behind.
Goombs is emptying
Oh.
Rage.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes, we probably won't see Resort for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
At least from Goombs. But Nikki is in
Oh,
Resort.
Nikki
Yeah,
is in
Nikki's in
Resort,
Resort
okay.
and Goombs and Ridge here. This is interesting.
Everyone is clueless, apparently. Yes.
Yeah.
Nikki is in Resort. Oh, okay.
Alright, so what would Goombs be going for in Ridge here? It sets Goombs up for 8 binoculars, all berries in cliff face, golden
Ridge
ridge
blue
blue
heart.
heart. That's not bad.
You probably also get cassettes earlier, so 4 cassettes is potentially
Yeah,
something Goombs wants to look towards.
yeah.
Apart from that, very fast chat for berries. There's also a winged in this chapter, so
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot that Goombs could potentially be working
Yeah.
towards.
It is worth noting that I think Goombs skipped the first winged berry in chapter 1A.
That's not too bad to go back for, so
It's not. Okay, so Goombs does insta-tick Golden Ridge Blue Heart because he doesn't know whether Nikki is in Resort or Ridge, so he can't really afford to delay. But now Nikki knows that Goombs is in 4A in Ridge. and has an information advantage over Goombs.
So what are we looking for in Resort?
So,
Not getting PKA in the latter.
yeah.
That might be fine. As long as you get
Yeah.
it before you leave mass, I think it's fine. It's going back for it is kind of a pain. It's like a 45 second or something.
Exactly, yeah. And Nikki knows that Lettering Pico 8 is a safe objective because Goombs is most likely in bridge right now. So Goombs can, Nikki can get the Lettering Pico 8 exiting towels because it is in the same room as the towels exit.
Yeah. Also, no heart stuff on the board. Like, actually 0. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many options does the board have to choose from to fill the 25 tiles? It is a little bit complicated how the board generates, but there are several hundred objectives.
Yeah, there's like over 200 of
Yeah.
objectives. So
I shouldn't say
like,
several
picks
hundred, but there is over 200.
there was a lot. So don't
Yeah.
worry
And
about it.
they're weighted by length and difficulty, so it's balanced. You're not going to get a ton of really long, really difficult objectives on a board.
Yeah.
And so it's balanced in that way to have a good variety of objectives of different lengths.
Yep.
Yeah.
And shameless self-promotion, I was the one who did the most recent rebalancing for the most part of this generator. So all right, so
Yeah.
Nikki is grabbing Letter and Pico 8 in press. Goombs is grabbing all berries and cliff face. How do you think this game is going to shape up, True John?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think Goombs is slightly favored because they will get into temple first. And there's a decent amount of temple. But
Yeah.
so it's like using binos, 7 wingberries, more progress towards that. Mirror temple set. Mirror temple A side if you really want it. 2 B sides. 5B is quite fast for that. So it's a
Yeah.
decent amount in. It's a decent
Okay.
amount in temple, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Although something that is helpful for Nikki here is there are objectives, as you said, for the A side and the B side of Mirror Temple. So something that you can do if you're behind entering Temple, but there's multiple paths, is you see what your opponent does and then pick the opposite path. So Boss may be, or Nikki may be able to guess whether Goombs plays the A side or the B side of Temple and play the other one.
Just kind of sat here until the routes converge.
Yeah, these players are pretty much committed to their routes through. It is worth mentioning, though, that Nikki is delaying the objectives in Resort because Nikki knows that Goombs is nowhere near those objectives, most likely. So choosing not to tick them off hides information from Goombs. Goombs still doesn't know whether Nikki played 4A and got locked out of the 4A objectives or played 3A and is choosing not to tick them off.
We do see 5B from so
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Choosing to hide the objectives is like a really high level meta bingo strategy that has its advantages and disadvantages just because you have to think about how long do you want to be hiding that objective, and there's opportunities for if you choose not to take it and your opponent gets it. It's not probably going to happen in this circumstance, but we've seen it close to happening this weekend. Your opponent can basically steal an objective from you if you choose not to take it. So there's a risk reward to hiding objectives.
Yeah.
But the players themselves are the ones ticking it off. We're not ticking it off.
So, Goombs is looking to fill out 2 B-sides, 4 cassettes, 8 binoculars from this 4B play. And Nikki is currently finishing up 10 Oshiro stuns at the end of 3A here. Oh! I think she missed Oshiro at the very end and only got 9 stuns. Not the
that's
end
fine,
of the world.
but yeah. Well, you know.
Yeah.
We see the tick-offs for Resort.
Yep.
What
And
are we doing here? What's the plan?
probably 4 cassettes, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cassettes B-side, 2 B-sides, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, and also setting up for 2 B-sides. Also, all collectibles 1A, so that cassette triple dips in objectives.
That's true. All collectibles in 1A is kind of
true,
fast.
Yeah. It's shorter than you would think, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially for these players.
So Nikki does choose to enter 4A instead of 5A here. Potentially making a late game rush. What late game objectives do we see here?
I mean, 75 berries is technically late game, 20 berries in 7A.
There's also
One key
Reflection
power
B-side,
source.
Rebel's Hollows.
Reach 2K and 7B.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I don't see Rebel's Hollows, I don't see what else. Complete
Yeah.
Black B-sides, I guess, is late game, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I wonder if we'll see 4B from Nikki here. That would snipe 8 binoculars from Goombs. Okay, and there's 4 cassettes from Nikki.
Yeah, that's another thing about B-sides. They generally have really good Bino synergy. So
Yeah.
that's another incentivization to go B-sides here. It's so strange because there's so much incentivization for berries, but also so much for B-sides. And that's what I think makes this card really fun.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and Nikki does quit out here and re-enters
3B, okay.
3B.
8 binos, 2 B-sides. I think this makes sense.
Yeah, I was not expecting this, but
I wouldn't have expected it. Also
Yeah.
5 B-sides, I guess. Yeah.
meanwhile, Goombs is grabbing the cassette in 1A, so Goombs might be rushing 2 B-sides here.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, Nikki just pops
know.
in and leaves, which I think is smart.
Yeah.
Just gets the quick Bino and leaving.
Yeah.
And then going to be going through 4B.
Yeah.
I like
fine.
this.
You get 8 binds from this, actually.
Yeah.
Because Nikki already has 4, so okay. I'm down.
Yeah. But I think Goombs might also be able to get 8 binoculars in this chapter, and will also win complete 2 B-sides. It depends on how many.
Interesting.
This is
binos,
spicy.
yeah. Oh, never mind. Goombs
Yeah,
only
yeah.
is going to be able to get to 5 here.
Yeah, Goombs is not close, so
Yeah.
they'll trade a 1 for 1 here. It's good for Nikki, I think.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see the B-side rushing right now. I think this makes sense.
Yeah. This is a really interesting dynamic though, because currently they're 4-4, and neither of them are pushing progress at all.
I mean, there's not a lot in late game, like you said, so kind of makes sense.
I love B-side gameplay. It's okay.
Me too. Where are both of these players going to go after this?
That's a good question. So,
I mean, assuming that Nikki gets locked out of 2 B-sides, we might see Temple potentially going towards Temple, because
yeah.
there are a lot in Temples, like Mirror Temple A-side. I don't see anything else.
No, I don't. 7 winged berries is helpful, but
Yeah.
I think she would be a lot more likely to finish 4B and go into either Reflection or Summit. Actually, scratch that. I think maybe going for more mid-game berry objectives, like 7 wing berries, 45 berries, all collectibles 1A might make more sense.
I don't know. Guess we'll see.
So Goombs does... Yeah.
Does tick off 2 B-sides, so it goes in the Summit. What's in Summit? 20 berries and 7A. It's helpful towards 45 and 75 berries.
Yeah. Also, there's 3 wing berries in this chapter, one of which is early on.
Is Goombs gonna win 8 binos actually? No, I don't
Not if
think
Goombs
so.
is committing to these early berries.
Not if Goombs is getting these berries.
Yeah, there are 3 binoculars early on in 500 meters, but he needs to get there before Nikki finishes 4B, and she's entering the last checkpoint.
Yeah, the last bino that Nikki needs is in the last room. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was a smart play from Nikki. I think they're both making smart plays. Like these are both completely viable options for this board, which is really great to see.
The Goombs go into that room with 2 berries and we get one of them.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I think his rationale might be he's trying to get 8 binoculars. Ooh. Nikki takes a rough death.
This room.
Oh, this is going to be so close for 8 binos.
I think Goombs wins this, surely.
Yeah. Oh,
no, if that
with the death? Calm's curse.
Yeah, honestly. Oops.
This is going to be so
really
close.
tight
This is going to be
race.
actually so close. Oh my
I
goodness.
think Nikki's got it. Oh, Bino.
No, she's
Bino?
getting...
Anybody?
Oh, it turns
no.
blue! Oh my god.
Oh no.
No.
That was so close.
I think Nikki gets life if she goes for the binder right away, but
Yeah.
that's so sad. Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Now, you see-
and
see Nikki going to
Nikki
Summit.
is entering Summit, yeah.
Wow. I'm still like that's a great example of just
Yeah.
how lockouts can just be so devastating. I still think 4B was fine even with getting locked
Yeah.
out there, but it
Yeah.
really seemed like she was gonna get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That it was the difference of maybe spending 1 less second making a different decision, or just in execution. There's so many factors that go into this.
You do have to keep in mind that even though Goombs is ahead in objectives, Nikki has basically 3 objectives. I guess 2 if you want to be picky about it, but in resort, they have Stunner Shield 10 times to their progress towards and reach Ultimate Peak 08. Complete Peak 08 is a lot longer, so you might not see that until a bit later on, but they definitely have the advantage towards those objectives.
Yeah. So it
what's
looks
Nikki
like
aiming to do here in Summit?
probably 20 berries in Summit, 45 berries.
I assume berries.
Yeah,
Stuff.
okay.
Okay, so Goombs is entering Resort here. I think this is probably a Pico play.
Yeah, I assume so.
It also sets Goombs up for 7 winged berries, but I think that's a pretty risky play considering you know that Nikki played Resort first pass.
Yeah. I'd be very surprised to see Goombs going for Sanashiro.
Yeah,
I guess it could happen.
it could happen.
But what's the plan here? Where are we going? I'm surprised to see 7 wings on the board, honestly.
Yeah,
I know we're in the
I would
wolf much
definitely
longer, but-
assume that would have been ticked already, but here we are, and that's only Goombs' 3rd, so if Nikki wants to contest it by going back into a couple chapters and picking up winged, she definitely can.
Oh,
Looks like she might be doing just that.
I think
Here we
that's
go
what's
in
happening.
Temple.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Seems
But-
like it.
Yeah, and then she can get the last one from Awake.
I'm not entirely sure how many winged berries Goombs has,
Right,
but
Goombs picking up his 4th winged berry. Nikki on her way to getting her 6th. I assume that Goombs goes into Pico 8 after Towels here.
yeah, I'd assume so.
There's not really much else to play for in Resort.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. I like this play.
Yeah, this cuts off 3 synergy from Nikki. Okay, yeah. She goes into Shrine instead of... But that's fine.
I will be sad if Nikki loses Dunoshiro. I will
Yeah.
definitely be sad.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping she goes back and snags that.
I
soon.
assume Goombs ticks off Peak-away objectives.
Yeah,
So-
and then Nikki will just be like,
Yeah.
"Oh frick, I gotta go."
Well, maybe not. Now that Nikki insta-ticks 7 winged berries, you know, unless that was a delay, that she's not in Pico 8 right now.
Fair enough.
And it looks like Nikki is going to be doing all collectibles 1A
All
here.
collectibles.
I mean, I doubt Goombs delays it for that long, honestly. So, probably enough time for Nikki to go and pop a show like once.
Yeah.
That'll
Oh,
make it
this
even
is
sadder
also
if
going to
Nikki-
get Nikki to 45 berries.
Oh,
Worth
I
mentioning.
got it.
So Goombs does ticket immediately
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
signaling eco progress.
Yeah, so Nikki does know that all collectibles 1A is pretty safe, and they will be probably finishing at around the same time from each other.
Be interesting to see if Verdal is played at all in this game, because it's only get one key in power source. So,
Yeah, it might be a win con play.
yeah, for sure. There's just not a lot of reason to go there. So.
Yeah. But both players are actually in the exact same spot in Summit. They have 1K unlocked.
Yeah, one key unlocked, yeah.
So I feel like maybe a more likely win con play would be 20 berries in 7A, 75 berries, and race 2,000 meters in 7B.
There's a lot of different ways this could go.
Yeah.
What is
I
interesting?
really like this board. I think it's
Yeah.
creating some really cool scenarios here in the mid to late game.
I agree. That's what we live for. Good boards.
Yeah. I would not be surprised to see this game go.
I'm so glad. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, I'm so glad Nikki stopped to collect those other 2 berries because I was gonna cry.
That
Yeah.
was so sick.
But what a
Oh my
good
goodness.
recovery.
Oh,
What? What was that? What's happening? These saves, Nikki's
Oh.
cracked.
oh my
Those
goodness.
were so funny. Wait, where are you going?
Miss menus.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right, you. Trying to go to chasm.
Yeah.
Wow.
They
Those,
might be GSA'd at the end of these chapters too, because Goombs, I think, only has a couple of rooms left. In PvP.
Probably. Yeah, a couple rooms left. So. Yeah, they're gonna end about the same time.
Yep. Alright. Suddenly,
okay,
Bunch
here
of
we go.
sweet,
Here we
makes
go.
sense.
Yay.
yep,
I'm so happy to see
Alright,
this.
time to pop a show like once.
yep.
Let's go!
And suddenly it's 8-8.
I love the
where are we
boop.
going?
Let me just come back and say hi to Oshiro. Boop.
Summit race? Summit race!
Yo! Summit race, let's go.
Oh my, they're in the same spot.
Yeah.
Sick.
Goombs is just a little bit behind because he spent a couple more seconds deciding which chapter to go into.
Oh
I
my
wonder if that'll end up
gosh.
mattering.
I love that we have such a divergent thing, and then they're in the same place. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah. So it is
Goombs
worth
is
mentioning though.
getting some berries though. Okay.
Yeah, Goombs has a very good arm. I'm not familiar with Nikki's arm time.
I'm pretty sure Nikki has been playing, but don't quote me on that. I could very possibly be wrong. But
She has been playing a little bit of everything. I mean, so is Goombs,
Yeah.
but they are going for different berries here. So I'm interested to see who wins the race for 20 berries.
They're both just such good players. It's just like fun
Yeah.
to watch them play the game.
Yeah.
You know? Oh no!
Wait, why is Goombs getting this gem?
Wait!
Goombs did not get either of
I
the other
don't
2 gems, so.
Are we all illiterate? What's on the board? What?
There's nothing for gems.
Yeah, Goombs skipped the other 2 gems, so I don't know what's up.
I think
no,
that might
I-
literally just be Hundo muscle memory. Goombs does
Yeah.
have 3rd place Hundo.
That's actually hilarious.
I won't be surprised.
Yeah. A plus. Full clear 7A, of course. Oh,
Okay, 1K. 'cause
yeah. Well,
Goombs
he didn't
skipped
do that because he skipped the last
two
berry.
gems. Yeah, it's like, oh, he skipped last berry. That's so sad.
Surely the gem counts as a berry.
Surely.
I'll count it. I executive decision.
Executive decision, I see.
For
Get the
legal reasons,
consent
this is a
here.
joke.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, that's
I
so
wanted
sad.
it so bad. Come on.
Oh,
It's happening. Yeah, nice.
Yes!
let's go.
Nero
Turns out
baby.
there's a space right there that's just wide enough for Madeline to fall through if
Yeah.
she's fast falling right.
I think if you down dash on the like first frame, but you can buffer it, so it's like
Yeah.
yeah. There's just enough room for Madeline to not die.
Going for the terrible cycle here in the cassette room, we'd love to see it.
There's not a good cycle in this room. You can't
Nope.
convince me.
You either be slow or you go for the terrible cycle and die.
Yeah. It's not a good cycle. So
Not
how are the
check
berry
berries,
counts
so-
doing in this chapter?
Goombs has 17.
Yeah, which is quite close.
I
not
don't
bad,
know
Nikki.
how many Nikki has.
I don't either. Nikki has a lot of berries overall,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
but
Nice
I don't know
demo.
how many of those are summoned.
Oh,
Oh, quitting out.
that was 17.
17.
Oh, wow.
So
I think
going to
Goombs
start.
probably
wins
gets
this.
this.
Not
Yeah,
going
'cause-
to. Oh, that's a 7B checkpoint. Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, not going to 2K? No.
That would be kind of terrible if
I can't read. Sorry, my bad. Okay, but I think yeah.
Yeah.
Goombs got it.
Okay.
That's
What
pretty
do we do
unfortunate
now?
for Nikki.
I know that was
Grapples,
really close.
Grab us
Although-
follows, you might see the
She's
Yeah.
still
So-
continuing.
Yeah, because she still wants these berries for 75 berries.
Sure.
Which she is still... Oh,
Leaving.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think this is the fastest place to get 75. So.
okay, 3A. Okay, this is 3A full
Plus
clear.
3A,
Yep.
75 berries. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas Goombs is going to Reflection.
Yeah, there's a Reflection B-side and grab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could set into grab the solos. Also,
Yeah. I would say that this play is probably a little bit stronger for Goombs than for Nikki, because Nikki's getting 2 objectives from this, 75 berries and Alpha plus 3A. Whereas Goombs is setting up for 3, Grabless Hollows, Reflected B-side, and 5 B-sides.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for Nikki to go to Reflection because
Yeah.
Nikki isn't gonna get 2 B-sides or
Yeah.
5 B-sides in more likelihood. So.
It's also pretty
Like,
risky
it's like very
because she may realize that she saw the 20 berries and 7A tick off late, which means that if she tries a reflection race, she would be behind in turn. So, what's Goombs' win con first to 13 here?
What's he at? 9.
9.
So, Rebels Hollows is 10, Reflection B-sides 11. 5 B-sides is 12.
So he needs one more beyond that.
Yeah, usually one more to like reach 2K. I think he has the cassette. I'm not
does.
entirely sure, but okay. Yeah, so that's not too bad. And play size isn't too bad.
Yeah, and 1 key and power source.
One King House.
He just needs one of those miscellaneous ones.
So that's a lot of stuff for Goombs to go for.
Yeah.
This time. I guess we'll see. Because Nikki is ahead on a lot of the other stuff. All collectibles 3A, 75 berries.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount that Nikki is ahead for.
Yeah,
I think that
but
they've both got the same progress towards Reach 2K and 7B, so
yeah, they both just have the cassette in 7A. The difference though is Nikki is behind one objective, so she needs to get more miscellaneous objectives.
Nikki
Which isn't
seems
out of
like
the question.
really aware of which berries are the fastest, which is
Yeah.
such a skill to have in bingo. Like
Yeah.
it can be so tempting to just finish out checkpoints, but you really just want to be going to the most dense and fast areas. And so I like this.
Yeah, you definitely for boards like this where getting berries first pass is important, but also full clearing is important. You want to
Yeah.
set up. So a really easy example here is in Huge Mess. If you get all the berries in towels and in books, then on the return trip you just need to get the berries in chests and then the hovering berry, and then you're done.
Yeah, berry routing in Bingo is really, really cool to see.
I mean, just generally getting the last berries and a checkpoint is good.
Yeah.
There's 4 curse up on the board.
All right.
Yeah, let's grab the solos. Yeah,
Yep. And Goombs is going straight into 6B.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. So these are very long commitment objectives. 6B is like, 4.5 minutes. Full clear 3A is even longer. So I'll expect these players to be doing these for the next few minutes at least. I wonder what Goombs is going to think when he sees the 75 berries tick off in just a couple minutes.
Yeah, Akko was saying in chat that Nikki can delay this for like quite a while, honestly.
That's true.
Which is a good point. I don't know if she's going to, I mean, she can because she saw Gravel's
She can,
hollows.
but
Yeah.
taking off 75 berries doesn't exactly say much, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely see Nikki just taking off.
I'm curious.
The main upside that I can think of is Nikki might be able to convince Goombs that she's also contesting B-side, which makes Goombs more likely to do a predictable B-side path, and which Nikki might be able to take advantage of.
Yeah. Is there any reason to get this out?
All collectible.
All collectibles.
All collectibles. I am very smart.
Yeah.
I'm glad
It's
you're
easy
here.
to forget that all collectibles
To be
doesn't mean all
fair,
berries.
To be fair, my brain thought that. I just took the second to read the board again.
Yeah.
So I thought the same thing of like, why are you getting the heart?
Yeah.
You're not alone, Trujan. You're not alone.
Alright, thank God.
Okay, interesting thing. This happens sometimes in Bingo where you accidentally tick off the wrong objective. Nikki did untick it, but okay.
Nikki goes to power.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really good for Nikki. Be able to get one key.
Yeah.
Because the objective screenshots are quite long for being honest.
Yeah. So doing this would get Nikki to 11.
Yeah.
Finishing 6B would also get Goombs to 11.
This will probably come down to whoever gets Temple A-side.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. I'm like, they gotta go to Temple, right?
Well, before
This
we
is tough.
start thinking about Temple A side, there is 5 B sides still on the board, which Goombs will have 3 of.
Yeah.
So that means that Goombs might be able to win without Temple A side if he instead chooses to do 5 B sides and reach 2K and 7B.
Maybe. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah. I didn't think about how the fact that Goombs is gonna have 3 B sides once he completes not 7B, 6B.
Yeah.
Very clever.
The scary
that's a
thing
good
here
point.
is that Nikki doesn't necessarily know what Goombs is doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know that Goombs did 6A, but you don't know what else is happening. Goombs could be in farewell. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have no idea. So I I respect Nikki going for farewell here and just being like, you know what, I'm just gonna try and get this.
Yeah.
Because we have no idea where Goombs is.
There is also the potential for Nikki to choose to multitask.
Yep.
What I mean by multitask is she may quit out at this checkpoint in farewell and choose to do something else like Temple A side. But nope, looks like she's committing.
Yeah, I was considering also the play of multitasking. It can be stressful but useful.
Yeah.
The last objective Goombs ticked was 6 minutes ago, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of hard to make that call, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's really just risk versus reward. Like, what objectives do you think is safe? Because you really just need to put things on the board at this point in the game. Synergy is out the window. Except for 5 B-sides. That's the last synergy.
Yeah, and I think it seems like Nikki's kind of conceded that at this point, but we'll see. Where
I mean,
she goes
Goombs can delay 6B for at least a little bit. Because Nikki ticked off 75 berries like 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you could probably delay for at least a little bit.
Oh, she's ticking it right away as well. Okay.
All right, 7B from Nikki.
You can delay 6B even more now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So-
I think Nikki just really does not know where Goombs is and wanted to make sure she got that key, which
Yeah,
I
that's
think is fair.
I think
Yeah. Okay, so
Goombs is delaying 6B.
7B race?
Let's go!
Oh!
This is
Okay.
the best.
Wow. This is where Goombs has such an information advantage
Yeah.
in hiding, but Nikki is ahead.
And
Yeah.
if Nikki ever goes into 6B, it's rough, but
Yeah.
at the moment that hasn't happened, so.
I mean, this is also Goombs' fourth B-side that he's doing. So even if he gets locked out of 2K here, he may be able to snag a different miscellaneous objective and then just come back and finish, or even just do a different B-side.
Someone's also made the good point we've had a 7A and 7B race in the same match, which I think
Yeah.
is beautiful.
That's like really
Symmetry.
weird.
I think that's sick.
Yeah,
They're also both just like good at this chapter, so it's fun to watch.
yeah. 7B's been popping off recently. There's been a good amount of
Yeah.
sub sixes that have happened in the last few weeks, and people are definitely optimizing it a lot more.
Goombs takes off now. So there's no chance of Nikki going there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised if we see both players go into Temple after.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is tense. This is
Yeah,
a really
definitely.
cool late game.
Yeah. Goombs could also multitask this and Temple, like it's being said in chat.
Yeah,
I would be surprised to see that, but we'll see.
I mean, it's a possibility. We probably wouldn't see it, but
Well, from Goombs' point of view,
possible.
you just need one of those two objectives and then 5 B-sides.
Yeah.
I realize that you can't lean on 5 B-sides super heavily, but since since Nikki has ticked off all collectibles 1A, all collectibles 3A, 75 berries, you know that they spent a good amount of time just doing that.
yeah. Yes, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, this
Yeah.
race hasn't even finished yet. We can't.
Yeah, this is really, really good for Nikki though. That
I mean, if Goombs wins this takeoff, then the game is over. So,
Well, yeah.
you know, it's like
yeah,
we can probably
they've both been
theorycraft it.
executing really well though.
Yeah.
Goombs is catching up. Goombs is only like a room and a half behind.
Yeah,
Yep.
but this is the
Not
last
crazy.
room for Nikki.
There it is. Yeah,
Oh,
All right.
a room can be rough. So,
that room can be rough. That's
Yeah.
it's terrifying. Oh,
Nikki, you need to take
Nikki,
off.
take it right now.
Nikki, please. Nikki, please.
Oh no!
Oh,
Nikki,
no.
please.
Sweetie, please take it off.
Oh.
This is so sad. Is
Are they
this
both
Goombs?
hiding
Are they
this?
both
Goombs
delaying?
hiding?
Dude, they're not hiding this.
They're both delaying. Oh, no.
Oh, it turns
Oh,
blue.
Nikki, no.
Oh, that's so sad.
No way.
Oh,
Oh man.
Okay, and yeah, Nikki calls
yeah,
GG.
Nikki
calls
calls
GG.
GG. That's so sad.
Oh.
Wow.
Nikki, no.
Oh,
That's the thing. You just don't know. We have the information that they're in the same spot. As a player, you don't know where the other player is. Sometimes you make the wrong call on hiding things, and that was unfortunately just the wrong call. Dang.
Yeah.
Not dang. I mean, like that was a great match. I
Yeah.
it's
can
a
feel.
good match.
I
Yeah.
feel for Nikki in this moment.
This match was so much fun to commentate.
Well, I love how you could see the moment where Goombs was like, wait a minute, I can just take this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh my god.
Wow, GG to both players. That was such a cool board.
Yeah.
oh, that was a cool game.
Has some of my favorite objectives on there too. Oh, we have more matches today. That's crazy. That was a marathon of a match by itself.
I know.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow, you don't understand what happened. So basically, we can give a recap. So basically, they were racing the objective to reach 2,000 meters in 7B, which is where they both were. And you do not have to take the objective the second that you do it. So Nikki was delaying it to try and get Goombs to waste time, but unfortunately Goombs was right behind her, and so ticked it, stole the objective, and then Nikki called GG because she was behind in the other objectives here and behind on numbers. So hiding is a strategy that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. It's high risk, high reward. So that was the situation of the risk coming through.
Yeah. So congratulations to Goombs for moving on to the finals, and also congratulations to Nikki for making it this far. You guys are both awesome.
Yeah, those were really good games. So.
Yeah, that was incredible. So many amazing moments that all of us are reading the chat back is so there's so many moments that we were all on the edge of our seat. Absolutely fantastic match. And the good thing is, if you missed any matches yesterday or you came in midway through the time today, all of these matches are going to be put up on the Games Done Quick YouTube. So be sure you can check those out there, rewatch them. But we're gonna get set up for our next semifinals match. Super excited about that. We're gonna have Vapo versus Verdal. So, you know, get up, stretch, grab some water. We're gonna Crab and Trujan will be back with me in a little bit to talk about the next match. So we'll see you all in a little bit. Hello everyone, welcome back to our Celeste Expert Bingo Lockout Tournament. That was a match for the ages just then. It's been an amazing weekend of Celeste and Celeste Bingo. Thank you to everyone who's joining us watching Bingo for the first time. It's been really fun getting to share this super unique way that we love to play Celeste with more of the speedrunning universe. So it's been an amazing weekend, and we have more matches coming. We have our second semi-final, which is going to be Vapo versus Verdal, and I'm really excited for that. Before we jump in to our next semifinal match, just want to say that GDQ Hotfix is supported in part thanks to your subscriptions and bits, so we would appreciate if you consider subscribing to support our future content like these episodes, these one-off events, and also our weekly Hotfix content and shows. And don't forget that you can also check out Games Done Quick on Instagram to see bite-sized clips from our Hotfix shows. They have some amazing reels up there of different things that go on during Hotfix. Absolutely go give them a follow on Instagram as well to see some of the amazing highlights. You're going to see like some awesome lockouts we had in that previous match. Hopefully we'll be showing up on some of those channels. But I think we're just about ready for our next match. So I'm going to reintroduce our commentators for this match. We got Crab and Trujan. How are y'all recovering from that last match? And you ready for another one?
No, not in the slightest, but the show must go on. So
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, that was
holding
awesome.
this match to a high standard.
Definitely.
That's the excitement with Bingo. I think we saw like a really unique board, and I hope we're gonna see, another awesome set of objectives, and the routing in this is so much fun to see. I hope you all have been enjoying that. So we are just about ready to go. So Trujan, whenever you're ready, count us in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Right. So what do we see? There is not a lot early again. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah. So
it's just all berries in a wake, pretty much.
There's also 2 cassettes in Grebless 2-way and Forsaken City cassette.
Ooh, City cassette is
it's
a nice one.
Yeah, City cassette and 2 cassettes on the board is very interesting.
I did not see City cassette, so yeah. We could potentially see that.
Yeah.
Going for 2A and then go back for 1A cassette. Because generally you want to prioritize progress early on.
Yep.
So getting 2A cassette and then going back for 1A cassette. Especially if you're playing 2B, because then you don't have to unlock the next checkpoint in 2A.
Yeah. Looking further on into this board, there is a lot of berry stuff that I see.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's a lot in Ridge, is all I was going to say. It's like 15 berries in 4A.
Yeah, I see 15 berries in 4A.
B-sides.
All collectibles 4A.
Yeah, all collectibles 4A.
Yeah, so there is definitely a berry path. There is also a B-side path because there's 2 A-sides and 2 B-sides, 3 blue and 3 red hearts, and all berries into the core as well.
There's a lot late game as well. Like all berries in 2K, all berries in 3K. Those both take quite a while to get. 15 berries and 4 chapters. So it will take a long time. So.
Yeah, I would say that this is a pretty complicated torture route.
Yeah, definitely. 4 blue hearts as well. With, like, basically no other blue heart stuff. There's 3 blue, 3 red, I guess. But
yeah.
Really count.
Because that objective is really defined by the B-sides. So,
yeah.
Vapo Verdal grabbing. Go ahead.
At least, I was just going to say, at least getting into core isn't going to be a short on this board. There's 4 blue hearts and 3 blue, 3 red.
Yeah. So both players grabbing the first winged berry, setting up for 2 winged berries and 2, rushing through city. The biggest divergent point here in the early game will be if someone goes for a city cassette rush. Guess we'll find out. Looks like Verdal's going for it.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a bit lengthy to do this early on, but good for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this does set up for 2 cassettes, but now Vapo definitely knows that he's ahead.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. I wonder if Vapo will go for Grabless 2A.
Well, there's 2 winged and 2 chaps as well. Is there anything else in Resort that I'm like missing? All base and elevator shaft. I don't think that's enough. All base and presidential suite.
5 berries being await.
I was going to say maybe a 2A skip, but it's just not enough in 3, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think there's too much in late game. There is all berries 2,000 meters, all berries 3,000 meters, 20 berries 7A.
It's a lot in... Right? Is there a lot in 6 actually? I was going to say that, and I was like, I've not seen anything in 6, so...
There's Reflection Blue. Reflection Blue
Heart, I see. That's the only thing in 6A. But one in 7A though, so...
So neither player is going for Grabless here. Verdal is... Or Vapo, rather, is onto Intervention with some berry trains, and Verdal is grabbing the cassette here in 2A. So Verdal does tick off 2 cassettes, but Vapo has a significant progress lead, especially for this early on.
Yeah, I mean, where does Vapo go? Does Vapo skip 3A, I assume?
Yeah, I assume 3A skip is probably...
It's in 4A.
15 berries.
There's 15 berries in 4A. 5 finals in B sides, which 4B is good for.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice there's complete 2A sides and 2B sides. There's a lot of reason to do B sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if berries might be stronger for Vapo at this point, though.
Yeah, at this point, I assume Vapo is going to play 4 or 5A, but
yeah.
I guess we'll see.
And Vapo is probably, or rather definitely going to win a Wake Berry. Yeah. And still significantly ahead in progress. So whatever Vapo chooses to do, he'll be ahead. Enters 3A.
Vapo goes into 3A. Hey.
Alright. So this does mean that Vapo will have access to 2 winged berries and 2 chapters, all berries elevator shaft, all berries presidential suite, and also be advantaged to 4 blue hearts, because the Celestial Resort blue heart is fast to get on the way, but slow to go for if you're only getting that.
Yeah. And getting the 5A high is very slow, so...
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Vapo get that.
Yeah. And Verdal is skipping 3A.
There's also 5 berries in Peak Away, but just doesn't take that long, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it's the fastest Pico 8 objective except for Letter Pico.
Yeah, Verdal going into Ridge makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of Ridge. There's a lot of Ridge stuff. I think both plays make sense. They have what they're going for. There really is a lot of Ridge.
Yeah, and I think Verdal recognizing that he's behind in progress makes sense to pick 4A because it is the stronger overall progress play.
Yeah. Be interesting to see which B sides get played.
Yeah.
At the one end, you want to play the B sides with the most binders, but the other side there's 3 blue, 3 red on the board. So
Yeah, and there's no
Look at the
specific
fastest piece.
B-side objectives either.
yeah, a very strange board.
Yeah, Verdal going for the cassette
Ooh.
here in Rage takes an unfortunate death.
Unfortunate death.
And Vapo is doing towels first here to grab the blue heart. Makes sense.
No huge mass order on the board, so
Yeah.
unfortunately there's no winged barrier effective on the board. This Vapor already has 5.
Yeah. I mean, 2 winged in 2 is enough, and
Yeah.
Vapo choosing to delay this, interesting. And Verdal enters 4B. Okay.
Vapor
Oh.
takes 2 winged in 2, so
Okay, yeah, just now.
Entering 4B.
Yeah, so
Spicy.
4B is
Okay.
interesting for complete 2A sides and 2 B sides, and it's very strong for 5 binoculars and B sides. This makes me think that Verdal might be going for 1A, 2A, 4B, 5B.
did Verdal unlock Shrine?
He did.
Okay, good. I'd be very sad if they went off and it was like, nope, not unlocking Shrine.
Yeah.
But yeah, this makes sense, I think.
Early 4B is a relatively new play in the bingo meta, but it's picked up a lot of steam for snapping up these early B-side objectives.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot, so
Yeah. 4B is based.
4 days. Cool.
Yo. So it looks like Vapo is just about done with huge mess here. Gonna be moving on to elevator shaft. Meanwhile, Verdal is powering through the second checkpoint. Almost done.
Yeah, both players just kind of doing their thing right now.
Yeah. They're not really interacting with each other very much right now. There's been no lockouts yet unless Vapo was planning to get cassettes.
This side isn't that much compatible, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Vapor skip it. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's also pretty fast to just get.
Yeah. Either way. No cassette stuff on the board, so
No.
So it looks like Vapo well, could just be going for berries, but I would be surprised if it doesn't
I'd be surprised
snack
if
the
he
cassette
skips
all
the.
over here. Yeah. This room is evil.
This room like
I just
doesn't
gotta
exist,
say,
in my opinion. So.
as an art player, this is the room is illegal.
Yeah. So Vapo does tick
Yep.
off shaft berries and goes for the cassette. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, B-sides are pretty strong, and I would not really expect Verdal to do the early 4B play here. So Vapo might just be setting up 4 B-sides B-side objectives that may not be available soon.
Yeah. Look. Vapor is going to be head to 15 berries in Porsche.
This is true.
We might have more, we might have 15 at the end, honestly.
Yeah.
It's, what, 7 from Shaft and Sweet? Oh no, something to think about.
Yeah. And it looks like Verdal is going to be ahead in progress after 4B. Most of the time, 4A, 4B, and 3A take similar amounts of time, but Vapo has needed to go out of their way to get berries and such.
On a bunch of berries called cassette.
Yeah.
Oh, so. Where are we going? The plan.
Alright, and Verdal is on to the Mirror Temple.
Vapo
Always
remembering
intent.
he needs the berry. Good.
Go.
Yep.
Vapo
Glad to
remembered.
see that.
Let's go.
Bingo.
What's in temple?
So
There
there
are two different seekers. Get 3 keys and search. I think that's
unraveling berry.
unraveling. I see.
And Verdal could also just play 5B here. That would still get to kill 2 different seekers and 2
Yep.
A-size cheeks.
I'd be surprised to not see that, honestly.
Yeah, because 2A, 2B, and 3 blue, 3 red, like there's just so much
Yeah.
reason to play 5B at this
That
point.
also, wait, that also gives you 5 B-sides in 5 binoculars and B-sides.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
There's just a lot of reason to go.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Meanwhile, Vapo backtracking
Oh.
for 4 cards.
Okay. Gives you access, gives you core access, so
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I don't hate this. For sure.
The thing about this is that Vapo still has a skip, so they'll be able to enter Summit first if he wants to finish Ridge. But if not, Verdal will be ahead. And
I'm just playing a ridge.
yeah, there are some early Summit objectives. I see 0 meter, 500 meter gems, 4 gems in the Summit.
There's some pretty fast stuff for early summit.
Yeah.
But also up in late summit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, there's 20 berries, 2,000 meter berries, 3,000 meter berries.
Yeah. I don't know, kind of crazy, honest.
Yeah,
What's this photograph is like immediately. The A sides to B sides, use 5 binders and B sides.
and kill 2
Is that
different
all? 2 different secrets, yes. Okay. Little gets 3 objectives, it'll be 5 to 4.
seekers. Yeah. Meanwhile, Vapo is getting lots of berries in 4A, setting up for 15, and also, I would assume, all collectibles 4A, but skipping the last berry. And the cassette for that one.
I assume people gets the yeah. Is Vapo's 4th blue heart?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, yeah.
it is. Yeah, it is also worth mentioning that Vapo has no information about what Verdal's done and where he is, because the only things he's ticked are the early cassette objectives. So, for all Vapo knows, Verdal played 3A and got locked out of everything.
Yeah. I think Verdal can delay these much.
No, it's pretty risky. Vapo could have skipped Ridge. Coming up on the second secret kill now. Oh, didn't
No.
get it. Is he going for the third one? Or did he just forget?
I don't know. This is not the place to be doing it.
Oh, he is going for the third one. This one is
Doing the third
significantly
one.
harder.
Yeah, this one's very different. You have to pop the sea current into the door and then you drop the door with you.
Yeah. Oh, it took a death. So, yeah, looks like he's just going to
Yeah.
go for the first one.
One is a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does turn green. Alright. And Vapo is rushing these shrine berries to get to 15. Interesting. Oh, but sees... What? Oh.
I mean, Vapo sees the tick of kill different seekers and is like,
Yeah.
okay, Verdal's probably not going for berries.
Yeah.
It's a bit undecisive. That's almost a six save, I'm being honest.
Yeah. Alright, and that is 15 berries in 4A from Vapo and quits out. Okay, so yeah, goes back into Old Trail,
Yeah.
but Vapo is going to be behind into late game here.
I mean, the
And-
late game stuff takes a while, so I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Yeah, well, Verdal is going to win 0 meter and 500 meter gems here, which is a fast one.
It's substantial.
Okay, yeah, and Verdal's still committing, or not Verdal, Vapo is still committing to all collectibles for right here, getting a few of the slip berries in the intro. Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, Vapo probably knows. Yeah, Vapo saw the 2 A sides and 2 B sides tick, so Vapo knows that Verdal has access to late game. So Vapo, I think, has basically just decided to completely abandon progress. And Verdal ticks off 5 binos and B sides, which is basically saying, hey, I played 4B.
Hey, by the way. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, technically, you could have played like 2B, 4B, 5B or something. Yeah.
That still includes 4B.
That still includes 4B. You are correct. I mean, you could technically go on 5 binos and B sides without playing 4B. Is my point.
Yeah, you could have played 1B.
I just articulated it wrong. But yeah, chances are Verdal did play 4B.
Yeah, so Vapo is entering core for all berries into the core. Verdal has ticked off 0 meter and 500 meter gems.
It was going into. Well, I think this makes sense.
Yeah, I think it does too.
Because Verdal could quite possibly have a core access at this point. So.
Yeah, and
This is
Vapo definitely
quite
just wants to cash in on the 4 blue card synergy right now. I think Vapo can also reasonably assume that Verdal is probably doing something in late game, either continuing Summit or going for Reflection blue card. Very nice Ice Berry skip from Vapo.
Delaying it for a little bit, I see.
No! Wait, what? Vapo
Wait,
skipped...
Vapo?
What? Was that a mistake?
Was that a mistake?
Because Vapo just skipped Cliff Face.
Was that a mistake? Oh no.
Oh no.
Does Vapo
Actually,
want to...
so, all things considered, I don't think this is super terrible for Vapo. But, yeah, I think that was definitely a mistake.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a mistake. I would not expect Vapo to skip clip this, so...
Yeah. So, Vapo can still get All Berries Unraveling, 3 keys in search here.
Yeah, this isn't terrible.
Yeah.
Not ideal for sure.
Yeah.
And you basically concede all the summit stuff. So.
Yeah.
But most of the summit stuff that's left is quite long, so...
Yeah, like, this doesn't really... Unless Vapo is planning on immediately trying to contest summit stuff, then this is not, like, a huge loss. I mean, obviously, it might suck a little bit, but Vapo can still get 2 objectives here. That wasn't a mistake, says chat. I mean, I think that's probably a thing, but Vapo also paused at the opening cutscene of 5A for about 20 seconds. So
I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to assume anything about Vapo's strategy, but if I had to guess, I would say it was a mistake. Verdal's actually contesting 5A here and is going to get locked out, so this might be a silver lining. Oh, never mind. Verdal's dipped.
No, Verdal goes back to summit, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? It's good for Vapo.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm confused at everything that's happening, but I'm sure it's fine. Players just playing, you know.
So let's talk about win conditions. Both players are going for chapters that have between 2 and 3 objectives each. Verdal is playing Summit that has 20 berries in 7A, as well as berries in 2K, berries in 3K. Vapo is playing 5A that has berries in Unraveling and 3 keys in Search. That will put them to what?
Vapo's also advantage towards all collectible before.
And 15 berries in 4 chapters too. But Verdal is advantage to 3 blue and 3 red hearts.
Yeah. No, it's just gonna come down to like these miscellaneous objectives, like Grapplers 2A, stuff like that.
I mean, the only 2 miscellaneous objectives that I haven't said yet are Grapless 2A and 5 berries in Pico 8, neither of which are very long.
I mean, I think the game is honestly gonna come down to this. So
yeah, I think it is too.
Yeah, I think like every objective is really gonna matter here, and I think we might start seeing some lockouts in terms of just when people choose to go for things.
It's hard to know
what
really
the
big
best path
thing
here
is each player to get to 13 either needs to go for objectives that are directly contested by the other player, or get those 2 miscellaneous objectives.
yeah, the good does have an advantage towards 5 berries and Pico 8. So does have Mesa mobs and Verdal does not, I believe.
Yes, this is true. So I wonder if Vapo is just going to get these keys here and then quit out and do Grapless 2A.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
So Verdal, he just got the 4th jump, so it looks like he's delaying that a little bit.
Thanks. Vapo just takes Unraveling Berry like a couple minutes ago, so
Yeah.
can't be too worried about that, I assume.
Yep, and Vapo also instant takes 3 keys in Search. You can't risk the fact that Verdal is directly behind you.
Yeah. Does mean Verdal can delay 4 gems even more.
Yep,
If you really want.
and I had the reads, Grapless 2A. So this means that Vapo does have a win condition here in Grapless 2A, 5 berries in Pico 8, all collectibles 4A, and 15 berries in 4 chapters. Oh my god, Grapless 2A race.
Oh, yo. I'm popping off.
Yeah, Vapo does have a pretty significant lead here, but it's very easy to take deaths in the last like chase room in intervention.
Especially with Grapples on. Yeah. Like, it'll probably come down to that, so.
Yeah. Oh, but Vapo's getting some berries. I wonder if that'll make the difference.
Ooh. Oh my god, I thought Vapo was gonna die.
Yeah. Oh, this is too much.
I'm so scared. I'm not even playing and I'm scared.
I know, right?
Oh. So if Vapo loses this, he needs to contest either a summit objective or 3 blue and 3 red hearts to win. And I think that's probably pretty infeasible. So it's gonna come down to this objective for Vapo.
Yeah.
What a intense Grappler strat. I was really a fan of climbing that wall.
Yeah.
These are I love seeing people's Grappler strats.
Grapless is sick, honestly.
Yeah, it kind of is. Okay, Vapo's through the hardest room. I assume Vapo gets them.
Yeah. Verdal has had better execution, but Vapo just had the advantage going in.
It'll score quite a lot, so
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Between berries and I think Vapo... I don't think Vapo's died at all, but came close to death a couple times.
Yeah.
Alright, and it turns blue. That's
Yep.
huge for Vapo.
What is Vapo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Eco?
Yeah, Pico. So if Verdal
Verdal goes into 2Bs.
Yeah, I feel like this is not the correct play from Vapo because, or not from Vapo, from Verdal, because Vapo can win with 5 berries, peak 08, 15 berries, and 4 chapters, all collectibles 4A. So as Verdal, you really need to be contesting berries.
Yeah, I mean, you can't contest Pico at this point. I don't know. It's like very difficult with Verdal to get back into the game, I think.
Yeah.
Imagine if Vapo delayed, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way you delay that, for sure.
Vapo needs that objective to win. If you delay that, that's just asking for trouble.
It's just, yeah. I don't know, if Verdal goes and does berries, like, right after this, maybe it's fine, but...
I don't know. Vapo has 15 berries in 4A, has 15 berries in 3A, maybe? Or is close to 15?
Has
10.
I think
10.
close to 15.
And yeah, I think this is Vapo's game to lose at this point.
Yeah, I would agree. Vapo also going for 15 and 4 chapters.
Yep. So Verdal could maybe win all collectibles 4A if Vapo leaves it to last.
Yeah.
Oh, what's out
Verdal
of
goes there
TV?
right now.
Oh, contest
Nope.
15 and 4.
That's
That's just the unfortunate 50-50
yeah,
that
it's
happens
just,
in late games.
it's just a 50-50 at that point. Vapo's either doing this or collectible 4A. There's just no way to know.
And it makes sense to do this first because Vapo's already ticked off 15 berries in 4A.
Yeah.
But mind games. Vapo will be coming to 15 berries in this chapter pretty soon.
Yeah. I didn't really
really.
see a way Vapo loses.
Yeah. It's just rough for Verdal losing that Grapless 2A race.
Yeah. That's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah. Pretty crazy that Vapo skipped Cliff Face though. That's like that's
Like
in the
Vapo-
good books of crazy skips.
Yeah, like Vapo skips Cliffface and then wins. Like honestly, what a great move. I respect it heavily.
Vapo was just calling Verdal's bluff, like, I don't need Summit. You can have it.
Almost for cowards. What Vapo said. So.
Yeah. Not calling Verdal a coward though. He's been playing really well.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I totally love and respect the 4B5B play.
I mean, just like one objective was switched on this board. It's a much closer game, so
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it didn't even need to be Grubless 2A. It could have been like.
I mean, if Vapo went for one cassette at the very start of the game and Verdal got it, like
That's
even
so
that
true.
could swap it, like
That's the thing with bingo. You can't necessarily say that one or two, like you can't say that one objective has changed the course of the game because players would adapt to that being differently.
Yeah.
So it just causes a waterfall effect of things that would theoretically change. It's hard to say in certain situations what could have really happened.
Yeah, and that's the mark of a great bingo board, is a board that can go many different ways.
yeah.
So Verdal is going for all collectibles 4A here.
I mean, you kind of have to at this point.
Yeah.
And
And
if they
Vapo,
get it, I think they win if they get it.
yeah, I
Whereas
think Verdal does
they're
win
in
if
the
he gets
game.
it. Because Vapo awkwardly needs one berry in huge mess here, which is definitely a non-zero time investment. it's also worth mentioning that Vapo hasn't played Cliffface yet, so he doesn't have any berries there yet.
Oh no! Oh, that's actually so silly.
All right, all collectibles for our race. It's time. Oh, Vapo has 20 out of 29 berries. Is it 29 berries in this chapter, or is it 31? I don't remember.
I should know this, but I don't know this, unfortunately.
What's the question?
How many berries
How many
are there in
berries?
4A? It's either 29 or 31.
29, I think?
29,
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah. I was gonna say 28, and I was like, wait, no, it's not 28.
It's
Yeah, I
not
think
an
it's
easy
odd.
number like 30. It's a
Yeah.
weird one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a weird one. It's like,
The only good chapter is 1A with 20 berries.
True. That's the only chapter free from sin.
31 is Temple, thank you.
I mean, I just have no idea who said, so.
Oh, actually, Core has 5. Core gets a pass.
Yeah, that's true. Except for the fact that it has the pinball berry, so it
Yeah.
does not get a pass. It does not get a
172 is worth like 35
Doesn't also have
berries.
25.
pass. 25 is my favorite number, gotta say.
Ooh.
It was always fine, I think.
Yeah, so Vapo only needs a couple berries to enshrine it.
I think Vapo wins the.
Yeah. I mean, Vapo does need to play all of Start again. I don't know if Vapo has gotten Start, or Verdal has gotten Start berries.
Actually, yeah, I don't know. How many chapters have prime berry counts? That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's see. I mean, there's farewell counts.
Yeah, fair enough.
Farewell counts. I mean, I guess.
Actually, is one a
It
prime
does have
number?
a berry.
Yeah.
Is one
mean,
technically a prime number?
I mean, technically,
No, it has 2. It has 2. It has
if you
a gold-
count, if you
No,
count one,
if we're counting goldens, this is all messed.
yeah.
Okay,
if
well,
you-
one's
if-
not
yeah.
prime, so.
No, wait.
If you count goldens, then every B-side, every C-side is a prime number. So
No, one's not prime. I will make this clear.
Yeah, but we're not counting goldens. This is messing everything up. Okay. You all can do math in the chat. We'll deal with math later.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Vapo is grabbing the seeded berry,
Yeah.
the cassette here, and the last berry in Start, and I think that's the last that Vapo needs.
Yeah, I think that's the last one.
Yeah, and it's important not to pay attention too much to the score here, because if Vapo lost one blue objective, then it was definitely Chrono's game.
Yeah, for sure. Like what we said yesterday, the score like very rarely tells the whole story. So yeah, they protect
Absolutely, it's a journey of how these players got here, and
Yeah.
you can't
Verdal's
tell how
close,
close
GG.
each objective was or anything like that.
So GG. Thank you to
GG.
Verdal and Vapo for playing. Congratulations to Vapo for making it to the finals.
Woo!
That
Really
was a
great
really
match.
good game. So.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of divergent boards over the course of the weekend, and I'm excited to see what our finals boards are. And just a reminder, our finals is going to be best of 3. So we potentially will be seeing 3 more matches, which is exciting. Any last words y'all have, or want to say goodbye to the fans? Because we have our other pair of
Fans.
commentary coming in after the break.
Goodbye, fans.
Bye, fans. Let's go.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Frozen, for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for
This was really
Tree
fun.
This was great. This was awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you both for being here commentating. I think it's so helpful to have skilled commentators explaining what's going on. It brings everyone together so we're all on the same page of what we're seeing, and so it's always a joy to be able to be a part of commentary team for these kind of events, and the fact that we got everyone together to do this on Hotfix is just awesome. And both of these semifinals matches have been fantastic. As I said, we're going to come back and do a best of 3. We're going to have Goombs versus Vapo. Very, very excited about this. 2 incredibly skilled players, and both of those matches were really close as well. So very, very ready for some awesome finals matches. So I'm going to put the Twitch links of everyone we've been seeing today in the chat. So please give these really talented players a follow. And we are going to take a short break and then do a bit of a tournament recap as our players get ready for the finals after that. So stay tuned and we'll see you all in a bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Celeste Lockout Bingo tournament. We are gearing up for the best of 3 finals, which I'm super excited about. We've had some amazing matches today. Before we jump into that, we want to give our players a little bit of time to get ready for that. So we're going to have a little bit of a tournament recap with some of our commentators. But before we get into that, just want to remind you all that Flame Fatal's prize submissions are open now. You can go to Games Done Quick Twitter for information on that, or just go to gamesdonequick.com. It's on the front page. You can get all the information about what you need to do to submit prizes to the event, which we would super appreciate if you did. The event is benefiting Malala Fund, which is all about helping women across the world get education. So that would be just absolutely amazing. If you're interested in that, be sure to go to the Games Done Quick website. And of course, we have GDQ Hotfix shows happening every single day. If you love speedrunning, we have shows starting at 7 p.m. on weekdays and 1 p.m. on the weekends. Events like this, like your favorite, shows we have going on during the week. We have so many awesome shows that you can catch here and on the Games Done Quick YouTube. If you've missed anything, be sure you can catch the VODs on the Games Done Quick YouTube. But yeah, I think we're just about ready to recap what we've seen so far in the tournament, what we're excited to see for the finals, what we're, can get some theories going for what we think we're going to see on the next board. So gonna reintroduce the 2 commentators you all have been hanging out with today, Crab and TrueGen. How are y'all doing? Excited for the finals?
Yeah, I'm
so excited. Yeah. I'm going to be watching at the edge of my seat.
It's always a great time when you get to the finals of a tournament because you've been seeing these players, what they've been doing all weekend, and then it's the culmination, and I'm really excited. But what were some of y'all's favorite moments from the tournament so far for people who have been here or maybe haven't been here? You could point people to what they should go back and check out if they missed it.
Yeah, so we've had 6 matches so far. We've had 4, quarterfinals and 2 semifinal matches. Touching on each of these matches, I think specific things to look for if you are rewatching these back are, let's start with the first one. Our first match of the weekend was Marlin versus Goombs. And if the astute ones in the audience may know that Goombs is one of our finalists here. So Goombs, in match 1, did a route in which he delayed like 5 objectives at once in 3A, showcasing a lot of the strategy that comes from delaying objectives and hiding your route from your opponent. And in match 2, Nikki versus Talia, we saw a really, really strong progress race between the 2 players, showing a lot of crazy execution strats and some close races involving even DTS and Farewell. TrueGen?
Yeah. Pretty much got everything about that.
Yeah.
So it was pretty interesting because I think I've seen DTS in Bingo like once before and see both players go for it. It's very interesting at the very least.
Yeah, there's a lot of routing choices that can go into whether or not you do DTS, the risk versus reward
both
there.
players got it first try as well. It's even more interesting, if I'm being honest.
So our next match, our third match, was Vapo versus Undertempo, in which we saw the perfect delay from Undertempo. It was literally a double delay. We didn't know what color it would turn, and Undertempo ticked it off at the exact right moment. Vapo did go on to win that game, though.
It was a crazy delay, though.
Yeah.
A second between them.
It's been so fun to see the delays happening because that's always it's always a part of Bingo that I think people don't really know to utilize to the fullest potential. But then you get to expert, and these players know exactly what they're doing, and they have a plan. I'm going to delay it until I get here, and it just deciding how long to delay, when to delay is what makes these matches so spicy.
Yeah. It really showcases the level of strategy along with the skill of just playing the game. Like, it's hard enough speedrunning Celeste as it is. It's so hard being able to play well while planning for the future.
Like, you're playing in the game on one level, and above that is like routing the board, and above that is delaying objectives. It's like, just thinking about it just stresses me out. Like,
Yeah. And then our fourth match of the day yesterday was Verdal versus Tia, which is a masterclass of knowing where your opponent is, being able to decide what's the ideal route you should take in relation to your opponent. And Verdal was able to triumph in the information mind games and take the win for day one. But personally, I think our day two matches, our semifinals, have been some of the more interesting.
I think so.
You want to talk a little about those three, Jan?
I mean, to begin with, the one-up at the start of game one today from Nikki, where they did the one-up in 1A. Like, they went all the way to Chasm, like, just the final checkpoint. So, like, I don't think I've ever seen that. That was crazy, honestly.
It was so cool, because, like, generally you're like, oh, you're doing one-ups, you're going to get the first, however many in start, but if you really need the progress and you need the one-ups at the same time, that was amazing. It was so cool.
Yeah, she just kept like 4 berries, like, pretty much the entire way through the level. It was crazy. I don't want to say much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there was a couple more moments, like the 8 binos in as Nikki went into 4B. Was Nikki playing against? I've really forgotten.
Yeah, Nikki
was in 4B.
Yeah, Nikki versus Goombs.
Goombs
stole 8 binoculars within frames.
Oh, that was so intense. And they were the fun part about that is that they were also racing it in different spots.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. They're going for the same objective, but they're in 2 totally different places.
Yeah, and he even didn't go for the bottom immediately. So he probably lost it just from that. It's crazy to think about. But
yeah. And there was also at the very end, well, there was a Summit A-side race followed later by a Summit B-side race. Nikki did end up winning the 7B race, but delayed the objective just a tiny amount, which was enough for Goombs to tick it off and steal the game.
Yes.
So, if I may, I actually had
go ahead.
I had some thoughts about that one as well. The late game for that match was especially interesting to me because there was a point in the game where we had 2,000 meters in 7B on the board, as well as 6B and 5 B-sides. And what was the fourth objective? It was 5A, right?
Yeah, I think
also,
so. Yeah, 10 points.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Akko.
Yeah, I was like, I need you to please introduce yourself. Mysterious voice from the void.
Yeah. Sorry, I just am too excited about the late game of that match. It was too interesting for me to not immediately hop in and say something about it. Because in that situation, there was a really interesting bit of interplay there, where at the very beginning of that interaction, Goombs started by completing 6B. And at that point, I believe that was his 4th B-side, correct me if I'm wrong? Or was it his 3rd? Okay, regardless, Goombs had the progress advantage towards the B-sides as a whole. And so ticking off 6B itself wasn't really a priority for him. Because if Nikki ends up committing to complete 6B, which is a 4 to 5 minute objective, then Goombs is very heavily winning that late game, right? Because if Nikki immediately goes and grabs 6B and ticks it off, Goombs still has the advantage towards 5 B-sides and can tick that off as well as one other objective and put heavy pressure onto Nikki with all that extra time that he gets. So it's actually in his best interest just to straight up not tick off 6B. And honestly, I would argue, even at the point that he ticked it off, I would argue that it would have been better for him if he just didn't tick it off at that point. However, once he had finished playing through 6B, there was a different interesting interplay happening where 7B, 2,000 meters, and 5A, that's Temple A side, were on the board, and were both objectives that Goombs essentially needed one of to secure his win condition, which is to say that he's at 11 objectives. He needs one of those objectives plus 5 B-sides, which he was pretty much guaranteed to get. So in that situation, he actually probably could have guaranteed it by multitasking Temple A side and 7B 2,000 meters. But Nikki understood that this was potentially Goombs' safest way out of the game. So what do you do in that situation where your opponent has a relatively safe game plan that they're unlikely to deviate from, that you need to counterplay? And the answer is delay. So Nikki gets 2,000 meters, anticipating that Goombs, so this is just my conjecture, I don't know what she was actually thinking, but I believe that she was anticipating that Goombs would be multitasking those two objectives, because if he gets one of those, he guarantees the game. So Nikki being able to play both of those, so Nikki being able to play both of those without showing one of them can bait Goombs into playing both and potentially win Nikki the game by her stealing both objectives from under Goombs. So it was just a really interesting late game to see from both players and how they were trying to outbrain each other in that complex late game.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and speaking of complex late games, for our final match, Vapo versus Verdal, it was complex in a very different way because there was not very much interplay between the two routes. Vapo obviously never even entered late game, and Verdal had free reign over B-sides and Summit. So they both correctly identified the pressure point objective, which was Grabless 2A. And whoever won that one would have very likely ended up winning the game because the rest of the objectives on the board were so heavily already sectioned off and belonged to a player, so to speak. So both of these boards in different ways ended up coming down to one objective.
Yeah. I think I could put any more context to that. So
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch these high level plays in terms of both execution of the game. They're just like, especially seeing the races, we've seen just all of these players are just amazing at playing the video game, and so when they're in the same place, seeing them do that is amazing. But also just the routing decisions that have been made, and I know that we're going to see even more of that in the finals, which is coming up, and I think our players are pretty much ready to go. So really excited for that. I want to just say one more thank you to Crab and Trujen, who were our commentary team for the past couple of matches. And we have our new commentators, coming in. We heard a little bit from Akko, but also LM Jax is here. Hi, Jax. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm good. I've enjoyed these matches today, and I'm looking forward to the finals.
Awesome. Yeah, this is gonna be so much fun. I just love, especially the best of three, where it's not just like everything comes down to one match. We're gonna get to see, really get to see these players shine in seeing a couple of different boards. That's always what's really exciting about the final matches.
Yeah, so I believe our players are ready. And so we should be good to go in just a moment here.
Fantastic. I think Jack's going to give us a countdown and we'll jump right in.
Yep, the players have revealed the board, and we'll get them started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so we have a pretty scattered board here for our first game of finals. We see a lot of berry objectives, but nothing that really ties them together. There's 2 winged and 2 chapters and 9 winged as a major synergy for berries. But aside from that, there's 10 berries in 3A, 20 berries in 7A. What am I missing here? 10 berries in 2A, all berries in depths. I think that's all of them.
Yeah, so what that will often end up is in late game, once these players have explored more chapters and unlocked progress, they can look into getting those objectives. Of course, I will just remind folks that we are playing Lockout Bingo, so it is the first to tick 13 objectives wins, and once a player has ticked an objective, the other cannot get it. Yeah, so the first objective that I see these players likely getting is Old Site Blue Heart. That is a pretty good objective to get, especially with 4 Blue Hearts being on the board. One thing these players also may route around is Visit, the Bird's Nest, and Epilogue being on the board. If you save your assist skip until Summit, you can get that one basically for free, but that comes at the cost of having to play every chapter 1 through 5.
I don't think on this board it's particularly worth it, as while both chapter 3 and 5 have decent objectives in them, I don't think that there's enough objective value that you can garner in early game in order to capitalize off of a Summit skip on this board. With that said, we'll see if one player starts developing a significant lead. Another thing to note here is that Complete Awake Without Dashing is on the board, so it's possible that the Old Site Blue Heart and Complete Awake Without Dashing get traded.
If we saw a player like Nikki in these finals, we may have seen one person skip City here, because we've got Old Site Blue Heart, Theo and Awake, and 10 berries in 2A. But both Vapo and Goombs are a little bit more conservative with their assist skip, so we didn't end up seeing that. But also, that would be a bold move for Nikki.
That would be pretty interesting.
In any case, we're seeing pretty much an any percent clear here from both players, which makes sense. Vapo grabbing a couple berries, but otherwise it's pretty close.
Yeah, this city should be relatively uneventful. We do see the wing berries getting collected for 2 wing berries and 2 chapters, which I would expect. Well, I don't know if I would expect a first pass to go for that. With 10 berries and 3A on the board, definitely seems not too unreasonable. There's a consideration to go for that and then assist skip immediately after.
There are also quite a few objectives just in Resort that I think skipping Ridge is not even a terrible play, or potentially skipping Temple. With the Huge Mess Order, 5 keys in 2 chapters, Reach Library in 3B, Pico objective, there's quite a bit in Resort for you to get. And with Vapo getting those winged berries, I would expect to see him go there.
Mm-hmm. And there's decent value in Temple as well, with Kill a Secret, all berries in depths, and get the key in depths. So it doesn't seem unreasonable that you could commit to 3A and then skip to get into 5A. I do think if you try and greed for 4A objectives, or even just play 4A, you're probably going to be in a worse spot overall. So I think the 4A skip is the correct play if you're going to try and enter 3A here.
Interestingly, we see both players elect to not get the Old Site Blue Heart and instead go for these berries in 2A. So Goombs will maintain his 10 or 15 second lead here.
I'm surprised. I would have thought one of them would have gone for it, but
yeah,
I guess it's easy to come back whenever.
There may be a consideration as well that you can see if your opponent goes for it and go for Awake Without Dashing if they do. And if they don't, you can come back and try and grab it later.
Yeah, 2A Heart is one of those collectibles that's immediately at the start of a chapter. And so in a vacuum, it doesn't really matter whether you get it on first pass or get it later, because it's super easy to come back for it. But with an objective there's definitely incentive to get it early.
You could potentially see a player make it to the end of the chapter 2 and restart chapter without exiting, go grab that heart, and then RTM.
Yeah, that would be a nice bit of time save for menuing. Okay, Goombs was gonna go for Awake Without Dashing here and tried to preserve a bunch of speed into this room, but accidentally kept dashing and had to retry. So resetting a room like that is allowed.
I wonder if Vapo will try to go for Awake Without Dashing as well.
Probably not, because it looks like he's getting so many berries that Goombs is just going to be taking it off here. Yeah.
But we do see the trade.
Yep, they split those objectives, and then Goombs heads straight into 4A. Interesting.
I do feel like as Vapo, after collecting this many berries, I do expect him to go into 3A.
Yes, absolutely. And then also, presumably go back for the 2A heart here at some point. Yep, restarting chapter like you mentioned.
Ooh.
I like that play a lot. Very heads up.
Yeah, I'm a fan of what Vapo is doing right now. It remains to be seen if this will play out well in the mid game, because even though we do have some good objectives here in 3A, we are losing a lot of progress. But really, I don't see anything too fast in chapters 6 or 7, which is what you want to look at when you're making a play that's going to lose you progress. You do have Grabless 6A and 20 berries in 7A and 9 wing berries, but none of those are particularly conducive to a fast progress board.
Goombs playing Grabless Start of 4A here, struggling a bit in the infamous Archie room, but he gets through it. And I wonder if he delays this. Doesn't look like it.
Oh, after seeing the blue heart?
Yeah. So that gives Vapo a lot of information, and now Goombs will kind of just be probably just rushing into Temple here because there's a lot of high value objectives there.
Yeah, Vapo can conceal these 3A objectives for a very long time because he knows that that Goombs is very unlikely to go back for them after having skipped 3A, which is telegraphed by the Grabless Start of 4A tick-off. But there's not too much value to be gained from that because at this point, if I'm Goombs, I pretty much expect this play after seeing the blue heart tick off after 10 berries in 2A. What do you think about the mid game on this board, Jax? Where do you expect to see players?
I'm not sure. I think objectives like 3 B-sides and 4 blue hearts may motivate mid-game play. We may see Goombs play, for instance, like 5B and 1B for also 2 binos and 5 chapters. We've also got, blue and red, mirror and Temple. There's a lot of synergy that Goombs can get by playing Temple and then getting into Summit and other B-sides.
There's 2 and 3 and 2 and 5 binos.
Yeah, wow, interesting.
Which is like
so this
very interesting.
Yeah, this 3A skip may play off really well for Goombs because he can get binoculars from 4A, which we've already seen, from 7A, from 1B. I don't think he got the 4A cassette, so he can't get the ones in 4B, but...
Well, there is 3 B-sides on the board and Reach Library as well. I wouldn't be surprised... Okay, here's a question. What happens if Vapo hard commits to non-progress? What could he potentially get?
Ooh, interesting question.
So
and just play a bunch of B-sides and stuff?
Yes,
I mean, that could
4
work.
blue hearts is potentially possible. Complete 3 B-sides, 2 binos in 3, and 2 binos in 5 potentially if he starts by hard committing to B-sides, I think.
Yeah, Vapo would have to go into 3B really early for that, but I think that can work.
I think that could work on this board, and especially at the high level, doing something that your opponent doesn't expect can have a huge impact. So just doing something that is unpredictable can make it really hard for your opponent to come back into this game. Jax knows that firsthand.
Yes, yeah, I've played some games with really, really unconventional routing, not because it was good, but specifically because my opponent wouldn't know what to do when I started ticking the objectives that I did. We'll see if Vapo employs that strategy here after getting some of the more low-hanging fruit in 3A. Another important objective on this board may end up being all berries and depths, because that is something that Goombs likely does not do on first pass.
That is a good point. All berries and depths. So Goombs almost certainly gets the key. It's
yes,
hardly
absolutely.
a question. And if he's here with the key, do you think he commits to get the heart?
I would expect so, yeah. You've got Talk to Theo and Search. There's some good late 5A incentive to play that. And Blue and Red and Mirror Temple as well.
Yeah, honestly, you probably just... Well, I don't know. You could go into 5B after getting the key. It's
You
viable either way,
could.
I think.
I don't know. I feel like getting the heart here makes sense.
Getting the heart here definitely does make sense. And getting to... Honestly, what I would be interested in seeing is for Goombs after... So Goombs at this point should be thinking about what Vapo is doing, because Goombs has clearly been winning all the progress checks on the board. So with no indication from Vapo, it's a very good time for Goombs to go back and snag a non-progress objective. And maybe the objective that he should be going for is 4 blue hearts here. Even though it's a somewhat long non-progress objective, it diminishes some synergy with these non-progress objectives for Vapo.
Oh, are we seeing a key skip?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god!
No, he missed it.
No.
Do it again.
He's gonna
Do
go for it again. Okay, so what Goombs is
That
doing
was
here
a
is he's doing okay. Well, he was doing a very complicated pause buffer where you try to get a 1-frame hyper, get very specific sub-pixel positioning, and then corner kick off of that spiked wall. And then if you do a top frame or 2 up dash, you can get that key much sooner. But it costs so much time to go for it with that setup that it can often be better to just bail on the second try, so you don't get stuck there. Very, very close though.
That was
With
so
that
close.
With that tick-off, though, Goombs does have the 4-2 lead and has continued indicating progress. At this point, ooh, he's going for the cassette. So, interesting decision. I do think going for the heart and at least unlocking the next checkpoint and then doing something else might have been better. Oh, unless this is just a Depths Berries play. But he's probably just getting these 2 while he's down here and then moving on.
I'll be interested to see. It's possible that Goombs is gonna still get the heart after this. I don't know.
Worth noting that we do see Vapo use his assist skip just as we mentioned. With the 3A play, we kind of expect this route to go into 5A because there's not really anything left to grab in 4A. With that said, the binoculars there are definitely valuable for a non-progress objective, but it looks like Vapo wants to contest Goombs.
It also, as far as binoculars in 4A go, there are 2 pretty early, so even though Vapo does skip that chapter, he can go back later for 2 binoculars there.
Absolutely.
These plays from Goombs make a lot of sense for me. There's a lot of value in depths, and you don't really know where Vapo's been. Well, now you know that he's been in 3A.
Stop greeting this berry. Just let it collect. Thank you.
So what was happening there is that when you have a key behind you, berries take longer to collect. And so Goombs, who has played a bunch of 100%, normally you wouldn't have a key at that point. So he's very used to the retry timing. But with the key, it's like 9 frames later or something.
So strange, but
Yeah.
so
Celeste is a
muscle
video
memory.
game.
Kind of hilarious. So grab a key if you want to do 1-up attempts.
I guess so, yeah.
But another thing to note here is that we do have 4 keys in Power Source and 5 keys in 2 chapters on the board, which gives you a pretty decent incentive to go into Farewell, which is unlocked at this point in the game for both players.
Yeah. Farewell also does work towards binoculars. So
Yes,
that could
that's
be a
exactly
decent
why I'm
play.
suggesting it.
Yeah.
I don't think now is the time to go into it, but it's something to keep in mind going into the mid game here.
For sure. Because this could also be done in 5A if you want to get like Theo and Search and Search keys. But I think
Also worth
5B is a
noting-
stronger play for Goombs here, just to get progress and get that blue and red in temple tick off.
Vapo did tick off the 2 objectives from 3A just now. I think he could have waited longer if he wanted to, but I can understand just wanting to tick them off rather than leave that in the back of your mind for too long, take up extra computation space in your brain.
Alright, it looks like we see Goombs going for hearts here.
I like
I think
this.
it's a fine play.
So again, we know that Vapo is in 5A, but Goombs has no idea. Goombs could be looking at the severe lack of progress that Vapo has potentially indicated, and thinking that he has to do something to make sure that this is not a win condition in and of itself. And so he's going back to collect this objective, as we mentioned before. Meanwhile, Vapo going back for a heart of his own, it seems.
This is the last heart for Vapo
This
to
is the
get,
last
so Goombs
one.
will be sniped on this objective, yeah.
Yep.
So Goombs had
Vapo
the right
making the
thinking.
correct read of unlocking the next checkpoint in 5A and immediately going and cleaning up the hearts because you've
Yeah,
already
so
put so
this
much
is-
time into it.
This is exactly what I was saying before. From Goombs' perspective, I would have liked to see him go and collect the heart, get the checkpoint, and then quit out and prioritize that first before going for something that it was unlikely that Vapo was really contesting. Goombs had a significant progress advantage and kind of spent that unlocking 5B and getting some death berries, which in the end ended up giving Vapo an opportunity to get back in control in this mid game, in my opinion.
Interesting, yeah. And here we see Vapo going for presumably 5 keys in 2 chapters, and then getting access to Theo and Search. I'd be very, very surprised if we saw Vapo do that Theo cutscene now, because it's about 45 seconds and just generally not worth your time in early mid game like this.
I would be a very big fan. Well, okay, I don't know how much of a fan I am of this play, but the concept of getting 5 keys and then going to Farewell is like maybe winnable here.
Yeah, if Vapo wants to try to snipe 2 binos in 3 chapters, he could potentially finish off the key objective here to take away synergy in Farewell, and then play Singular to get binoculars and power source access without needing to commit to those keys yet.
Yes.
Oh, bingo drop.
Bingo drop. Yes.
So bingo drop is basically a bingo only strategy that we have, where it's where we retransition down to a screen that you're normally not meant to go to in that order, and it results in the game putting you at a spawn point that you wouldn't expect, which allows you to skip a bit of space in search. So this is definitely nice.
Bingo drop is so niche, but when it works, and I love it.
But this also means he's not getting keys, right?
Yeah, so what he's doing is that it's sort of a mid-ground play where he's getting, all right, this key is slow, but if I do it right now, it's actually not that bad. It's really only slow if you need to come back for it later. So Vapo gets that really slow key and then makes more progress through 5A.
I wonder if he's thinking that deeply about it, or is just trying to finish this quickly while moving forward. Something to ask about.
Oh, Kill a Seeker. There was a race for Kill a Seeker there that Goombs just barely won. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, Kill a Seeker was definitely an objective on my mind, and Vapo did have a couple opportunities before this point, it's worth noting, but those are harder setups than what can be done in this Theo segment. So definitely nice for Goombs to get that objective. It keeps this mid-game honest from both players.
Yeah, Goombs losing that objective would have been a lot of value lost from tempo for him, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
it
the
would
good
have
thing is now
definitely...
Vapo knows exactly where Goombs is, which is
Well, not
interesting.
necessarily. Like,
Yeah, Vapo may actually underestimate Goombs' 5B progress, because the typical
True.
5B Seeker kill is right after you get through the mirror. And
well, how does Vapo know Goombs is in 5B, right?
That could also be, yeah. I think you can kind of expect that, I think, with the way the things that Goombs has been going for. I would expect it at least.
Yeah, I can understand that, I suppose. Considering
There isn't any incentive for Goombs to get keys in 5A. The B side is really nice. So.
But especially because Vapo ticked off 4 blue hearts and has no idea that Goombs was there with him. Oh, Vapo going back for keys, by the way.
Yeah, I like this play. See, this is why I thought the 5A play for keys was pretty high value. It looks like he's actually going for Theo first.
Ooh, I don't know if I like the Theo right now, honestly. I think Vapo is guessing that Goombs is in 5A, honestly, because
Seems like it, yeah.
Because after not seeing Goombs do anything for a long time, and then seeing Kill a Seeker, because Vapo doesn't know that 4 blue hearts was a lockout, the longer period of time suggests 5A rather than 5B. So this is going to work out in Goombs' favor probably, if he can clean up the farewell objectives and potentially spin that into 2 binos in 3 and 2 binos in 5, or at least finish Singular, get the 2 binos, and then capitalize off that. Wait, that's Goombs' second bino?
Yeah, he only got 1 in 4A, but the 4A binos are really fast to go back for.
Okay,
There's one in
yeah,
Shrine
it
that he
is.
didn't get. So it's not too big of a deal.
There's some really interesting mid-game decision making going on here. I'm not sure who I favor right now. Vapo does have the objective advantage, but Goombs has a good setup for 3 or 4 objectives here. But at the same time, Vapo could just go into Summit, for example.
Instead, Vapo will be delaying his 5 keys in 2 and then go do Depth Berries, which is really, really strong.
Interesting.
Goombs currently locked in Farewell.
After ticking off Talk to Theo in Search to indicate the 5A progress, why delay 5 keys in 2 chapters?
I don't know, but he ticked it off now. Goombs missing a Bino there, realizes, no, don't return the map. Oh my goodness. Okay.
He's just gonna keep going to Power Source, I guess?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go to get the checkpoint, then figure your life out. That's I'm really glad that wasn't an RTM there.
Panic RTMs can be a really big killer. There's a point at the end of 2A intervention that looks the same as Awake, and if you return to map there instead of at the Awake section, you just lose like a minute of progress. And that would have been about the same time loss for Goombs to do that there.
I wonder where Vapo goes after this. It's possible that he aims for 2 binos and 3 because that seems like the most appealing thing on this board right now aside from being in Summit. But then being in Summit could be a way to complete 2 binos and 3. So maybe he just goes there first, hedges his bets, and sees what Goombs takes off.
Okay, question for you, Akko and Court. Do you know if Vapo got the key in 3A Shaft? Because he may not have.
I do not know.
I'm seeing that people are saying that Vapo doesn't have it.
I will tell him to retick only if he has Shaft key. Alright. Not too big of a deal, because Goombs really wasn't close to that objective at all, but that is fine. So now we see Goombs getting binos, probably headed back to 4A soon. Not sure what we will see him do here. He's also making a lot of progress towards 20 berries in 7A, which I think makes sense, but it's also not very contested. So yeah, quitting out there, that is, I think, a good play. Goombs definitely needing to lock Vapo out of some more objectives here.
Yeah, it's rather interesting. I mean, so Vapo is still on 7 due to the mistick, but it's still a mid-game where Vapo has the objective advantage and Goombs has the progress towards various objectives. Goombs should clean up 2 binos and 3 here. The question is there any reason to take it off right away? And as a corollary, does that mean, is there any reason to go for this right away?
I'm not
and then
sure.
seeing this all berries and depths tick off as another part of that, you know, maybe Goombs elects to at least delay this for a minute or so. And there's the 5 keys in 2 chapters, and it works out all right because Vapo wanted to come back here for the cassette anyway. So
Goombs does have a win condition from Binoculars, Summit, B-Sides, and Farewell, but that's a lot, and it gives Vapo a lot of time, and meanwhile, Vapo only has to do, like, 3B, which he's already doing, Old Side and Pico, which is really, really fast,
yeah,
and then maybe even snipe the B-Side objectives.
It's worth noting that Vapo, minor optimization here, he didn't go and get the first Binocular in 3B, which, yeah, I mean, first of all, you can just restart chapter and go and get it. And secondly, it's not unlikely that Goombs is going for it right now, which, you know, he did just tick it off as Vapo was doing that. So definitely a small little time save there.
It looks like it was mentioned in chat, with Goombs having to quit out of the chapter to go get other binoculars, he did lose his 2 dashes, but it's not too big of a deal because he was only playing Power Source for keys anyway, so I don't think he'll be too miffed about that.
I wonder if Goombs elected to go back to farewell with the thought that there's potential that he could go get 5 keys in 2. I really doubt it, considering that he would have known that it was a 1 key difference, but he collects 4 keys and does not tick it off. So this is about what we were expecting. This is the 1A cassette coming out. 3 B-sides is definitely a high value right now, especially with 2 binos and 5 chapters coming up for Goombs. And then Summit's the other valuable thing, which is exactly where Vapo is right now. So they're swapping places here, with Vapo going into Summit and Goombs taking Vapo's place in B-sides. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out as we transition into the late game.
This is super strong for Vapo. So what Vapo can do here is we saw him get a winged berry in 2A. He currently has 6 winged, and so he can just play Summit, get the fast berries like we see here, get the 3 winged berries along the way, and then get to Epilogue. And that is a lot of objectives for Vapo.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that play. I was seeing the same thing here. 20 berries, 9 winged, and Bird's Nest in Epilogue alone takes Vapo to 12. And Library is favored to him right now. So, I mean, did he already reach Library?
He probably already reached it, yeah.
Yeah, my bad on that. So that is a win condition right there in itself. The question is, does Goombs see it?
Not sure. Goombs is ahead in B-sides, especially after this. And he would probably go play 2B for his final one. But
the thing is, Goombs is nowhere close to contesting Library. I think Goombs knows that Library is blue right now, basically. So it comes down to noticing that B-sides is just not a possibility for Vapo right now. But it's hard to make that read. However, I do feel that Vapo has been ticking off A-side objectives all across the match. And it's you have to realize that, well, okay, you don't have to realize in that I expect him to realize, but in order to win this match, Goombs has to realize that Vapo can't go to the B-sides right now and is committing Summit to try and win the game off of it.
We may see Goombs go to a chapter like 2B after this to get his 3rd B-side and a 5th chapter with 2 binos. Which is decent synergy, but it doesn't really interrupt Vapo's win condition, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the tempting play, but it might not be, it might not be the play, because Vapo's not going there.
Especially with the Reach Library takeoff, with such an easy way for Vapo to misdirect Goombs into thinking B-sides are more important than they are.
Yeah, wow. Vapo really playing a really nice mind game there with these delays.
Yeah. I wonder if it was even intentional to mind game that, or if he just knew that Goombs, having skipped 3A, could not have possibly been there in the time that it took. But either way, it's a really well played late game by Vapo. I think it's hard, if not impossible at this point, for Goombs to win this out.
I think it's basically a wrap unless Vapo really delays getting 20 berries in 7A and Goombs goes there like immediately. Because one thing with Vapo looking to play until the end of 7A, he may get only the fastest ones and then end up getting 20 pretty late. But I think Goombs would already need to be there to contest it.
Yeah. Where's the 9th wing going to be for Vapo? Is that
2,000 meters.
Yeah, okay.
Because I assume Vapo does not have the 4A winged or the 5A winged. But no, he has depths. He has depths, so his 9th wing is in 1,500 meters then. Wow.
Okay, I thought it was 2K as well, but yeah, it was being in 1,500 meters.
No, sorry, math. Vapo has 2 winged in 1A, 1 in 2A, 2 in 3A, 1 in 5A, so that's 6. And then he gets 3 in Summit, so that's the 9.
Okay, so it is 2K.
Yeah, Summit is just so good for Vapo here.
Yeah, it looks like he's pretty hard committing to berries now. not playing progress in Summit. Potentially, he's considering that if Goombs comes to Summit right now, after the last two tickoffs, with Goombs ticking off 4 keys and power source, and then Vapo ticking off reach library, if Goombs comes to Summit right now, the only way that he can win out is if he locks Vapo out of berries, because it's really unlikely that Goombs makes up this progress advantage towards finishing Summit right now. So
yeah, it's a really strong mid-ground play again from Vapo, because he can, as long as he gets this objective, he can then either win from late Summit if Goombs has been doing early game, and then or Farewell in 6A if Goombs has been playing Summit.
Right.
So yeah, it's a very strong get to 11, and then I'll just keep playing Summit, I guess, at that point, because he hasn't seen anything else from Goombs.
But once Goombs just now ticks off 2 binos and 5 chapters, it's looking like raps from Vapo's side. I think he sees that and is like, all right, I'm just playing this out and we should be good.
Yeah, for an objective like 2 binos and 5 chapters, you need to have a pretty diverse chapter set to have gone into. And so Vapo can expect that to include 4A, Farewell, and Summit, but then it must also include chapters like 1B or 6B or 2B, which gives Vapo a really, really confident win condition by playing Summit here.
So the question now is, where were the turning points in this match? What was at what point could Goombs have turned this around? Because it's my belief that Vapo should close us out now.
Where were the turning points? I think having played against or on boards rather, where the game is really strong. Okay, yeah, that makes sense with the 9-wing tick. I would expect this to have been Goombs saw Vapo getting a ton of value from Resort and Old Site, and then was like, oh shoot, I need to lock out some early objectives, but then spent too long in Temple and B-sides, which allowed Vapo to fully catch up and then capitalize on the Summit synergy.
Yeah, I think a big thing to point out here is that both 4 blue hearts and all berries and depths are blue. They're both Vapo objectives. And that was the key point in the mid game where I felt that Goombs probably should have committed to one or the other. And I think that could have potentially turned this game, because there was a part where he went for the cassette and a few of the berries in depths and then quit out and tried to go for 4 blue hearts, which Vapo then locked him out of. And so if he had committed to 4 blue hearts earlier, like I had suggested, or maybe even committed to all berries and depths, though I think that might have been a little less sound. But if he committed to one of those 2, I think that could have turned the game right there.
Yeah,
and I think it was mentioned in chat a bit ago that Goombs may not have actually had both binoculars and 1B, but it doesn't really matter. Things like that happen. Obviously, we saw Vapo accidentally mark that 5 keys tick off earlier. So I think neither of those mistakes affected the course of the match, thankfully.
No, I don't think so either. And there's so much to keep track of when you're playing bingo, like in your brain, what you're doing, what you haven't ticked, what you're going to tick. It happen, what you're planning versus what you actually did in the game can sometimes just, it's really hard to keep track of. So it's something that happens. We got it. Don't need to super worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, Jax, Court, and I are watching the screens without even having to play at all, and we still will miss that. I mean, we did, but it happens.
All right, so yeah, we are going to get set up for our second game of this best of 3 finals. So GG's on the first match, Goombs and Vapo. That was awesome. I'm excited to see more from the 2 of them. And so stay tuned, everyone, in chat. Again, you can check out everything that we're doing. If you like bingo and want to see more of it, you can check out Celeste Community's Twitch. That's where we host more bingo tournaments. So if this is something you really enjoy or even want to get into as a player, we have so many resources going on, and it's been a great weekend so far. So stay tuned with us. We'll be back for our second match of the finals after this short break. Hello all, welcome back to our Celeste Bingo tournament. We just saw the first of our best of 3 finals match between Goombs and Vapo. It was a really fantastic match. It's been so fun to watch all these bingo, all these bingo matches happening, the diverse routes we've seen, objectives we've seen, and I know that's only going to continue with our second match of the finals. If you've missed any of our tournament this weekend and you want to catch back up on it, you can go to the Games Done Quick YouTube, and they're all going to be uploaded within the next couple of days. You can see all the amazing matches that we had this entire weekend. But I believe that we are pretty much ready for our next match between Goombs and Vapo. So let me reintroduce our commentators for this set. We've got Akko and Jax. How are y'all doing? You excited for another match?
I am raring and ready to go. Sorry, Vapo, but I'm rooting for Goombs on this one because I want to see all 3 games here.
I'm ready as well. I'm very much looking forward to this.
Absolutely. It's been really fun seeing these players, like all the different situations they run into from the beginning of the tournament to now. It's so much fun to see this like journey, and it's all culminating here with these final matches. I believe that our players are ready. So if audience, I hope that you're ready for some more amazing bingo, and be sure to, if you have any questions, you can keep asking us and we'll be happy to answer either on the commentary or in the chat. But I'll have Jax count us in.
We're currently waiting for Vapo, but we should be ready to start in a second here.
Okay. Sounds great.
Okay, there we go. All right, well, I'll have the players start in 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck.
Fantastic. Bingo Sync liked me this time. Yay!
Nice.
All right. We don't see anything too early here on this board, honestly. The only early objective I see is the old site blue heart.
We also have complete a wave without dashing and 2 binos and 3 chapters from the last card, and even stronger synergy for that old site blue heart with 3 blue hearts this time. We may actually see somebody get it on first pass.
Surely, right? Surely this time they get it first pass.
Surely. There's some anti-synergy for Resort in that we've got 3 seeded berries and Shrine without dashing. 3 seeded, the earliest you can do it is in Old Site, Ridge, and Temple. So that would definitely be a Resort skip if you're looking for that objective. And also objectives like 2 B-sides, you may want to play like 2B and 5B for that or something. We do see Mirror Temple B-side on the board at the bottom. But I think a Resort skip is very strong on this board. Do you think there's counterplay to, like, would Resort get you much, Akko?
I don't really see a path through Resort here. However, if I had to make an argument for it, I would make an argument for one player to be somewhat aggressively, well, maybe not aggressively, but relatively proactively getting berries in at least chapter 2 in Old Site. And if we see that, then I can see a justification to go into chapter 3 and see if we can clean up this 10 berries in 4, 15 berries in 2, and 40 berries synergy.
Ooh, that's really nice berry synergy.
If you can get that synergy there, then you can definitely get value out of the 3A play. But obviously you can still collect berries in other chapters. I know it's a crazy concept, but we'll have to see what these runners do. You can see that they are collecting early berries here, despite there not being a 1A specific objective.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
With 3 blue hearts on the board, I don't know if we'll see runners. So I don't expect a 1A heart on the first pass, but coming back after getting the 2A heart might not be unreasonable. What might be interesting, okay, I might be getting a little lost in the sauce, as they say here, but it might be interesting to see someone get the 2A heart, come back to 1A, grab the heart, and assist skip 2A, go into 3A,
oh my gosh,
collect the heart, and aggressively collect berries in those 3 chapters.
I would be shocked. I'm gonna say. I think that. Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't expect either of these players to go for something that risky here, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it either. Vapo is known to be very, very good at routing at the high level. I would say most of the time I would credit his routing for his game wins. Not to say that his execution is a slouch at all, but Vapo's routing is close to unmatched. There's definitely some people I would shout out as well, but something to note. Vapo is going for the heart first pass, so I do like seeing that at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think in these high-level plays, like, these are all just excellent Celeste players. It comes down to your routing and also how your reaction to what the other player is doing. Like, you have your plan, but also being adaptable to changing your plan if you get more information. I think sometimes bingo players can get too locked into their plan, and you got to be adaptable. But that's, of course, just a skill that comes over time.
Yeah, counterplay is a very different thing than planning your own route, but both are important aspects of bingo routing. But as I mentioned before, we do see Vapo going relatively aggressively for the berries here. However, Goombs has been collecting berries just as well here. I'm curious to see how this ends up, because I think that Vapo is committing more aggressively to it. Am I correct?
Seems like it.
Both
Goombs
players
is
have been
hitting
getting a
15.
lot of berries here.
Goombs is hitting 15 in late intervention, whereas Vapo is at 17 total. But it's very possible that all of that is from 1A. Or like that difference of 3 berries is from 1A.
Goombs only got a few berries in 2A start. So I don't think he's set up to get 15 here, but Vapo might actually be just setting up for that right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, how is Vapo
goodness.
alive?
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
The dodge.
That's some improvisation right there. Some incredible improvisation.
I will say, well, you were talking about all the options in Old Site here. I was looking into like mid-game routing options, and there are actually so many different ways these players can play this that I don't think it would be productive for me to talk about them all. All I will say is that for these players, predicting what your opponent is doing will be very, very challenging in this match. And so information is going to be important as we get into these next couple chapters. And specifics of berry and binocular and heart routing will probably become very important in this mid-game.
Yeah, there's definitely quite a lot of miscellaneous objectives is how I would describe it. And as a result, I think that doing something unconventional could very, very heavily skew things here, whether in your favor or against you.
Yeah, so we will see Goombs here be setting up for 3 seeded berries and complete shrine without dashing. And also looking to get probably 15 fast berries. Boulder Midge has, I believe, 29 berries, and you can get like almost 20 of them without losing probably more than 45 seconds. There are so many fast berries in this chapter. I think Goombs being here without the plan to get berries would be a misplay, and we do see him getting berries, so I think that's very good for him.
I mean, but look at Vapo. This is exactly what we were calling out at the beginning on the board with the heavy berry play into going into 3A. I'm interested to see if this works out for Vapo. It's a play that I believe is the weaker of the 2 routes here, but I don't think that means that Vapo is strictly at a disadvantage here. He very well could turn this into a significant advantage if he plays it right with the information game.
3A is another chapter where you can get 15 berries pretty quick, and I think Vapo is much closer to 15 and 2 than Goombs is. As far as 10 and 4 goes, as for berries, I'm not sure who has the leg up right now.
Well, again, you remember what I was saying about getting berries here and then doing a crazy skip. Maybe we'll see that.
Vapo is playing Grabless right now, so we may see a lot of berries and Grabless 3A, and then electing to skip after unlocking Huge Mass.
Yeah, this is funny. Vapo's doing grabless and Goombs is doing dashless. Just some. You're expecting the players to do one thing in a room and they're just not.
Challenge runners right now.
Yeah. There's some setups
Okay.
that you would be that seem easy, but you'd be surprised if you don't have it's a little bit of a knowledge check. But they have it under control.
And the Shrine without dashing tick-off is very valuable for Vapo. That information says a lot. It not only says that Goombs skipped 3A and is in 4A, but also I believe that Vapo will think that Goombs is not committing as hard to berries as Vapo has been, which is true. And so I wonder if Vapo, nice paused second block list from Goombs. I wonder if Vapo will make any conclusions off of that though.
It looks like we see Vapo rushing 3 blue hearts, which I think makes some sense.
So is this another point where we have to question if Vapo has a non-progress win condition?
It's super hard to say right now, obviously with only 1 tick. And then
But there's so
Goombs
much
also-
happening despite that.
Yeah, the berry position is also pretty hard to evaluate at the moment, and will depend on what these players do in the next chapters they go to. Okay, Goombs does collect the berry.
There it is! Oh my god, wait, this is exactly what I was saying! We're having the 3A skip after collecting berries. Wait, this is incredible. Vapo with the wild route. I'm here for it.
And this also works towards 3 blue hearts. This is a really fast heart to get.
I like
God,
this
this
too
is
because like
interesting.
Vapo is now marking Grabo's start of 3A, so Goombs is like, oh okay, Vapo's in resort, but Vapo is not in resort right now, so that's
he could
spicy.
He could bait Goombs into something here, but I don't really know what Goombs would want to delay off of that information, unfortunately. Maybe 3 blue hearts, but you don't have the time to delay that very hard if you're going for it, which Goombs isn't right now.
Yeah, Goombs
So-
currently has no blue hearts, so he's lost no time to Vapo doing this Gigantobrain play at the moment. But he may be getting locked out of 10 berries in 4 here, because it's getting berries in 5A is pretty slow for that objective.
Oh, a little bit of a slip on the seated, but Vapo collects that Bino to just start progress towards 1 Bino in 5 and get the cassette here. Do we have a B-side objective on the board?
Complete 2 B-sides,
Complete 2.
2
But
binos
this is
and
a
3
relatively
chapters.
long one.
1 and 5
Yeah.
you could see as 1. I mean,
How's Goombs towards
Tangentially.
40? Yeah, that's definitely decent for 1 and 5 for sure.
Goombs are like 25 berries.
Okay, so this should be a pretty easily secured objective for Vapo.
Yeah, unless Goombs
That is Goombs' 3rd seeded, right?
it should be. Yes, he got the one in 2A and 4A.
yep, taking it now.
I suspect we'll see Goombs go play. Oh, 5B. Okay, so I would have really liked to see Goombs play 1A for berries. It would get him progress towards 15 and 2 and 40 berries. But instead, just rushing into here for 1 Bino and 5 and Mere Temple B side.
Yeah,
this is
I do
okay.
feel
And 2B, 2B sides, some progress on that.
Yeah.
This is okay, but at the moment I feel that Goombs' priority should be to contest Vapo's objectives rather than collect his own. And based on the route that Vapo has shown with the 1A, 2A, 3A, and not favoring progress and going for things like 3 blue hearts and grab a start of 3A, I think that Goombs should expect a commit to the berries here and try and contest that. But it's possible that he thinks he's far enough behind that it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, that could also be.
Which, yes, he's definitely going to lose 40 berries, but I'm not confident on 15 and 2 and 10 and 4.
He may also elect to just quit out of 5B after unlocking the next checkpoint here, just so that he could get this binocular. Not sure. Because that is a lot of the reason to play early 5B.
Sorry, what was that?
Alright, I was suggesting Goombs might quit out here, but he does not.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so the question is, what is past Chapter 5? We do have all berries in 500 meters and in 3,000 meters. We have the Summit Cassette. One bino in 5 chapters you can get progress towards. We have all berries in 1,500 meters, so actually Summit Arb is rather strong on this board. Summit in general is rather strong on this board.
You know, actually, yeah, and with Seeker Stuns, like, maybe this isn't as bad as we thought.
Yeah, I didn't realize how strong Summit was. There's what, 6 objectives that you can work towards by getting into Summit, and you also have the ability to collect an objective or 2 objectives along the way. Sorry, with Mirror Temple B-side and Seeker Stuns on the board.
Oh yeah, I just want to comment that Goombs' Seeker Stuns here are super clean. This is a really cool setup.
Very nice.
It looks like he updashes on like the second wave of the Seeker respawning. That was really cool.
I think, you know, we were rather focused on that early mid game because of how back and forth it seemed like it could be, that we missed out on some of the really nice opportunities for aggressive progress into like pushing this late game early. And so there's potential, because Vapo isn't going to be able to contest some of this stuff with that rather unconventional 3A skip, which Goombs, granted, probably doesn't know about, but Vapo can't contest any of this late game stuff. So it's going to be really easy pickings for Goombs here. He already has 5 objectives after completing the Temple B-side and ticking off that objective, as well as Stun Seekers 15 times. And now he'll be able to go into Summit and potentially collect 1, 2, 3, 4 objectives, putting him at 9, and be well ahead towards 1 bino in 5 chapters and 2 binos in 3 chapters. So that is potentially 11 objectives there for Goombs. So this could work out really nicely for him.
It's also worth noting that currently Vapo can only get 6 more objectives by playing Arid Berries and 3A. And so that only gets him to 11. He needs to get 2 more things, and I don't know what he would get. Objectives like complete 2 B-sides and grab the search start to look important, but Goombs currently has a leg up on B-sides, but it seems Vapo is prioritizing that now.
Yeah, I
so
do like the B-sides play. Oh, return to map. Okay, going for the binos as a priority first, I suppose.
Ooh, does Goombs quit out here to go for 1 in 5?
This is tough because I mean I think Goombs, what we were talking about with the skip, Goombs doesn't really know what Vapo's done at this point, right? So
yeah,
it can be really hard to counterplay knowing what to do to stop Vapo right now.
The last 3 tick-offs of Vapos were 15 berries in 2 chapters, 40 berries, and 3 blue hearts. And that's in reverse order from most recent to least recent. So those 3 objectives in and of themselves do not tell you what chapter Vapo is in. The last time that Goombs knew what chapter Vapo was in was, what is that, 15 minutes ago?
Yeah,
no, sorry,
I love seeing Goombs quit
10 minutes
out.
ago, sorry.
I love seeing Goombs quit out and
important.
get that. That was awesome.
That was super important. I was thinking about the chapters Vapo had for binoculars, and it was 2A, 4A, 1B, 5A. And so if he went to 5B next, like he could snipe that, and that would be really, really bad for Goombs' win condition.
So speaking of win conditions, what are we calling the win condition here? We can see 2 binos in 3 chapters, pretty likely going to Goombs, as well as Summit Cassette, All Berries 1500, All Berries 500, and All Berries 3K, which is what? 5 more objectives, which gets us to 11. So where would he go after that?
I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to call right now.
Yeah, Event Horizon is an option, as well as potentially complete 2 B-sides, but Vapo is... I think Goombs has to sort of do B-sides now if he wants to get that objective, because Vapo has the first checkpoint of 1B and is now into 5B.
Well, yeah, so this is really interesting because I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, Vapo has understood how important this summit is. That's exactly why he is here in 5B right now. It's not just complete 2 B-sides, it's also that he knows that potentially he can go to summit, and while Goombs will potentially be distracted full clearing 1500 meters, Vapo can try and beeline for 3K and take that out from under him. So both of those objectives could potentially swing to Vapo instead of being in Goombs' favor as it looks like right now.
I think if I were Goombs, I would be looking to get the objectives in 1500 meters, take away the synergy, and then book it to 3A and see what I can get there, because there's currently a lot there and it takes a lot of time. So if Vapo, for instance, does the huge mess order to get to the elevator shaft, since there's 2 objectives there, you can potentially snipe the Pico 8 objective, you could potentially snipe the core objective if you have time to get hearts. I think there are options for Goombs. But instead he quits out at 1500 meter entry and goes to 1A.
Well, he also got 10 berries in Summit, it's worth noting. So this may be a 10 and 4 play. If he can grab that from Vapo, that's
I like
a huge swing.
I didn't realize that was still on the board.
Yeah, so Vapo, realizing that he needs to contest what Goombs is doing, and Goombs being well aware of that, tries to counter contest by taking 10 and 4 out.
I love this.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Vapo goes
back
to
in
1B. Yeah, this is not surprising for me. I think ticking off 2 B-sides also puts subtle pressure on Goombs that Vapo now could have access to the late chapters, to Summit, right?
Yeah, you definitely expect 5B, 1B, I think, as Goombs.
Yeah, so trading this is really nice for both of them. I honestly think both of them are going to be pretty happy with this. They're both going to be probably understandably upset for losing what they thought was a safe objective, but they're also going to be happy to have broken some of the synergy of the opposing player.
We're also seeing Goombs commit to 1B. He might be doing too much early game here. Does he even need this?
Well, I don't know if he's going to commit here. Surely he goes back to Summit, right? Oh,
nope.
He is committing. Okay,
so
I thought he was just going to get the cassette and go back.
As far as 2 binos and 3 go, Goombs has 7A access, 4A access, and then I guess your other 2 options are at that point are 1B and Farewell, and you don't really want to commit to Farewell yet. I think 1B is probably smarter.
What does Vapo have in terms of binos?
Don't know, but Vapo only is about halfway through 5B, so he doesn't have Summit access yet. I think Goombs may still be in the lead for 2 B-sides. Hard to say. I think this is a tight execution race.
Yeah, this is intense.
Oh man, I think Goombs has the lead here. If Goombs gets this, I feel like it's a death knell for Vapo in this game.
It's gonna be tough for Vapo to recover from, yeah. That 10 and 4 was really important.
But that's exactly why.
Goombs options, because there's also Reach Event Horizon in Farewell, which we haven't really been mentioning, but is a decent tiebreaker that gives Goombs an option if he loses something.
At this point, honestly, I'm hoping for Vapo to be able to execute this well enough to get 2 B-sides. But okay, well, any deaths from Goombs certainly helps, but no matter what, this is going to be a close game, even if the score doesn't reflect it. It's crazy that we're saying all this, by the way, while it's 8-5 right now, but it feels like we were in late game so suddenly, so early into this match.
Oh, it turns pink.
Wow.
As Vapo was in the
one room. Just one room of difference.
That is a critical lockout.
Wow.
That very well could have been the difference between Vapo finishing 5B and going back to 1B because of the menuing time.
Maybe, yeah.
I wonder why Vapo chose to go back first.
I think
Goombs checking binos there.
I think even if Vapo did get that objective, and since he lost 10 and 4, I don't know if he has a win condition at this point. Even if he had that 2 B-side stick, but I think that might just sort of been a nail in the coffin for Goombs.
I agree. I just think that it was a must-win objective for Vapo, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. And he ended up getting locked out very, very closely.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I think we should see Goombs close this out at this point with we do have 1,500 berries, 3K berries, and the Summit cassette. So those in itself consist of win condition.
And I don't think Vapo can even catch up. 1500 berries does not take too long, and he should still be ahead after doing this for 3K.
Well, let's see how many times Goombs attempts and fails Nero. Oh, never mind.
I can't believe you didn't have faith.
Well, he failed it. Wait. On that?
This is possible, but like only with task precision, I think.
That was close though. I respect it.
Okay, chance for Vapo. I believe. I'm a believer.
Now he has to do this room again, which he will not be familiar with.
Gets it nice and easy though.
Ooh, that was a really slick cassette entry strat. It's a shame he missed that upright dash.
Yep,
this
taking
point,
it off.
At this point, it's very much a race, right? It's a somewhat asymmetrical race, but Vapo's just trying to get to 3K before Goombs does.
I think we're seeing Vapo call GG here, yeah, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Vapo does end up calling GG. It looks bleak with the game sitting at 11-5 here, but really Vapo was just 1 or 2 objectives flipping blue away from potentially winning this game.
Absolutely. We talked about at the beginning that the mid-game routing could have gone in so many different ways. There was not a clear path to victory here, so it was really interesting.
Yeah, I think the big thing about a board state like this is that if Vapo has 1 or 2 more objectives, he doesn't need to contest Summit at all, and then that allows him to clean up super hard in 3A and get a heart to go into core, which I guess he already actually has. So, you know, if Vapo has 2 B-sides or 10 berries in 4 chapters, he's sitting at 7 and can get to 12 with those other things and then win off of Farewell or grab a search even. So yeah, this is one of those boards where it's like, you know, we're ending at 11-5 with Goombs having 2 super strong objectives to get still, but I would call this a very, very, very close match.
It was, I mean, honestly, this almost felt closer than the previous one. But maybe I'm overthinking it.
Yeah, maybe. It was a mid game decision or 2 away from Vapo winning, I think.
For sure. Then again, the previous one was a mid game decision or 2 away from Goombs winning. So
yeah, very, very cool routing from both players here in both of these matches. I'm very much looking forward to game 3. I believe we will be taking a short break here.
Yeah, I believe we'll be heading to break here for a bit just to give the players a short break here.
Yeah. Yeah, stay tuned for game 3.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Celeste Expert Bingo Tournament. This is the finale of the finale, the 3rd game in our best of 3 finals match against Goombs and Vapo. It's been an amazing weekend, and, you know, I'm excited to get to even see more bingo. Just want to remind everyone, I just dropped the Twitch links of both Goombs and Vapo in the chat. Please give these amazing players a follow. They've been awesome all weekend, and so excited to see this finale match. It's just been an awesome weekend of bingo, and want to reintroduce our commentators for the final match here. We have Akko and Jax. Hello, are you ready for game 3?
I am
more
so
than
ready.
Me too. I think this is gonna be awesome. Thank you to everyone in chat for, you know, following along and watching all weekend. It's been so much fun. I'm glad that we got the community together to share in this amazing weekend. So shout outs to all the runners and organizers of this event, and also to production staff who's been working with us to organize everything. If we can just throw some thanks in the chat for everyone involved as we get ready for our finale.
Yeah, if you have a clap emote, you should put that in chat.
Are our players good to go?
I believe the players are ready, so.
Fantastic. I will leave it to Jax to give us that countdown, and we'll get started on our final match.
Ready. I'm super glad we get to see a game 3 here, because both of these players have been playing incredibly. So I hope we see that here too.
Alrighty, and the players will be going in 3, 2, 1, go.
You didn't. Oh, okay, never mind. All good. It's just a rather interesting bingo sync chat desync. Anyhow, so what we see on this board is, again, I don't think there's anything too early aside from Theo in crossing. So talk to Theo in crossing is typically what we consider a bait objective. It's something that you don't want to be doing early despite it being appealing to get that one objective early because you lose a lot of progress. However, with that said, the objectives on this board are rather scattered, so I'm not sure that it'll be too much of a detriment to have that happen. What do you think, Jax?
Yeah, I'm not sure like what you'd be rushing otherwise. Like something like get 3 1-ups you can technically do in 1A by getting a train of 8 berries instead of 6. But like beyond that, we see a lot of big objectives on this board, like all collectibles 1A, 4A, 75 berries, lead 5 B-sides, 3A sides, 3 B-sides. Like I don't really know where you want to be super fast, and with 2 optional Theo cutscenes on the board, you may just want to get that 1A cutscene and then hopefully bait your opponent into a wake without dashing so that you can then get the double Theo cutscene synergy.
Perhaps. I think what I would do if I were avoiding Talk to Theo and crossing is probably attempt the 3 1-ups and get 10 berries in 1A as well to set up for your 10 berries in 3 chapters, as well as give you progress towards all collectibles in 1A. And I think that could get you some pretty good value going towards, obviously we have the big objective in the middle of the board, 75 berries, as being something we want to progress towards throughout the match. And we do have general objectives to collect. There is 2 seeded that potentially incentivizes a 3A skip, but I also might like to see someone go into 3A and continue collecting berries, maybe get 10 berries in 3 chapters alongside all berries in starter 3A. So that's my concept of like an early game route if you're not going for crossing, which I believe maybe Goombs is going for it. Goombs is going for the 1-ups, as I mentioned.
There's a fair amount of objectives in 3A. I was gonna say with like the seeded objectives, we've also got 4 seeded berries and Mirror Temple A side. You may want to skip 3A, but we see Celestial Resort Cassette, Grabless Elevator Shaft, Celestial Resort B-side, and a huge mess order. So
oh my goodness, but hold that thought because Goombs is about to get a triple 1-up and then talk to Theo, I think.
Oh my goodness, that's quite a play.
I really like this. I really like that he routed to end directly above Theo and then get this cutscene here.
Yeah, that's really clean.
I think, again, as we were saying, with how aside from 3A, there's relatively scattered objectives here, I think this is a pretty decent value play because getting 2 objectives early like this at a comparatively low cost because you're maximizing your optimization by getting all 3 1-ups at once as well as completing them right in front of the Theo cutscene, I think this is an incredible value play from Goombs.
It is worth noting, however, that this gives Vapo quite a significant lead this early into the game, so Vapo can potentially fire back with Wake Without Dashing and 2 optional Theo cutscenes.
That's true.
But that, of course, does concede that entire progress lead.
There's also potential for, again, with 10 and 3 on the board, I kind of would be interested in seeing Goombs do something after committing this hard to giving up all this progress to Vapo. You're going to be hard pressed to contest anything progressional. And so it might not be unreasonable to then do a side skip after this.
Ooh, maybe.
I think especially, so let's look at what we have in 3A. You have Resort Cassette, you have Grabless Elevator Shaft.
It's all pretty late, and we see Goombs enter 2A, so he probably won't be doing that. His only other option would be to do it after getting 10 berries in 2A, and I don't think that's viable. You just don't save enough time.
Yeah, and even if you were going to do that, I feel like you would skip and go to 3A first, signal that, and then come back for 2A for the berries.
Yeah, and the thing about a skip like that is that if you beat Vapo to an objective in 3A, Vapo knows exactly what happened.
Right.
Which allows him to play super assertively in mid-game and get all of the objectives in 4A and 5A, of which there are quite a few, I will add. We see, of course, that all collectibles in 4A that I mentioned earlier, then 2 seeded berries, 1 key in search, all berries in rescue, What else? 5 banos and B-sides is sort of a soft 4A and 5A objective because 4B has 4 binoculars on its own, and then 5B has another one. But I'd be surprised to see that particularly early.
With that said, another thing to note is that obviously the routes that I have been suggesting are a little bit wild, a little bit wacky, and I think it's very reasonable for players to be going for something they're more comfortable with when they're in game 3 of a best of 3 grand finals on the stream right now.
Sometimes Akko's just in a little silly, goofy mood.
Hey, I mean, I think there's so much value that you can't put a number on, but to playing outside of the meta.
Yeah, absolutely. I would expect with Goombs, knowing he's so far behind in progress at this point, for him to play 3A. But also, who knows, maybe you expect Vapo to be in 3A. So this could be a pretty pivotal skip for Goombs, depending upon what he expects Vapo to do.
What would be interesting for me as a potential way of hedging your bets if you're Vapo is start to make some progress in 3A and then skip. There's obviously risk to it because you don't want to sacrifice your progress advantage when you have it. You want to capitalize off of it and turn that into an objective lead. But I do feel like with Goombs' current path, I would be very much expecting him to go into 3A, but I guess we'll see very soon. Goombs does tick off 2 optional Theo cutscenes by collecting the one here in Awake, or I guess it's technically Intervention. I don't know.
What you suggested for Vapo is interesting, but I think it risks losing 2 seeded berries, which Vapo really doesn't want to do playing progress here.
No, I absolutely agree. I think.
So, yeah, I stand by what Vapo did for sure.
Yeah, I do think that Vapo's play is the more sound one, but interesting. With Goombs skipping 3A, this suddenly turns Vapo's play into an incredibly high value one, which I honestly didn't expect this from Goombs. I kind of feel that I would have preferred to see him in 3A, and that's exactly why I would have suggested that play for Vapo. So it now puts us in a completely different play space.
And now we see
think
Vapo
Goombs just
going...
didn't know where Vapo was and just made the call. Sometimes
Oh,
you
you're
just
right,
gotta-
because Vapo hadn't ticked 2 seeded yet.
That's a
Yeah,
very
he
fair
didn't
point.
know. So I think he just made the call of like, okay, he's either in Resort or hiding or Ridge and hiding, and I don't know. I'm just gonna try Ridge.
Well, the thing about that is I don't expect Vapo to be in Resort unless you expect Vapo to expect you to be in Resort, you know?
Oh my god.
Okay.
That's enough of that.
Yeah.
yeah, it's getting a little deep here, but
I
it's
just think-
very
I just think
interesting
Goombs
how these
didn't
players
know.
are reading each other here. With that said, Vapo goes back to complete 10 berries in 3 chapters, which I think is definitely very nice. Again, with Goombs signaling some berry progress with get 3 1-ups and signaling this lack of overall progress by then committing to Theo and crossing and 2 optional Theo cutscenes. It makes a lot of sense for Vapo to go back and make sure he collects this. And he maintains a significant progress lead despite spending all that time collecting those berries. And with 30 berries already under his belt, he is looking pretty good for the later objectives and turning that into 75 berries.
I don't know about significant progress lead. They're actually quite close, but it is still a progress lead for sure.
Okay. Vapo has a progress lead.
Yes. We can see Goombs entering second blocklist room, and Goombs typically goes for this blocklist strat here. This will save him a few seconds over Vapo, and they are now in the same room.
Goombs has hit that,
Wow.
I think, every time in Bingo,
Yeah.
which is kind
Very,
of
very consistent
amazing.
at that strat.
Yeah, Goombs has been catching up rather strongly here on Vapo.
So here we
Yeah,
can
they're
see
in the
sort of a
same room
difference.
now. Well, they were, yeah. That's
We
pretty
can see
amazing.
a difference in play style between these 2 players. Vapo's strengths in Bingo are often from routing, like we mentioned, and then Goombs as a player has substantially faster, like any percent and 100% times than Vapo. Of course, with their routing choices, they, I think, keep up with each other pretty well. We're seeing a bit of a sink here. Oh, never mind.
So where would you say both players plan to go after 4A here?
Ooh, probably 1-up in 5A, I'd expect to see Vapo do. And then I think you have to play for Mirror Temple A side. So I as Vapo, I wouldn't expect Goombs to be this close to me already. And so I would probably still be getting that 1-up.
I feel like there's enough in Resort that I would like to go back for it, but without knowing where Goombs has been, it's hard to make that call as Vapo. So I wonder if we'll see one of them go back after something is indicated here.
Yeah, Vapo can't play Resort at all right now, I think, because Resort is such a strong play for Goombs. But I would not be surprised to see Vapo delaying the 5A progress things. Who knows? A very heads-up play from Vapo here would be skipping 5A 1-up and just rushing the 3 objectives at the end of 5A.
The key and search, completing the A side itself, and Rescue Berry?
Yeah, those 3. And it looks like that's
Yeah.
what we were seeing from Vapo, which I think is a very good play.
Yeah, I like it. I think Goombs likely goes for the 1-up here,
Nope.
but I'm not
I don't think
sure.
so.
Oh, interesting. I guess Goombs also probably still thinks that Vapo has a significant progress advantage, which is somewhat true, but it might just be baiting him into playing exactly what Vapo is playing.
Yeah, I think we see a pretty extended race here.
This is actually really cool to see.
Vapo maintaining the lead because Goombs had a couple deaths in Cliff Face and went for some more berries.
Oh,
Yeah, wow.
okay.
This is close. One thing that I will comment that Vapo is also really good on is knowing where his opponents are and when he cannot grade objectives and just has to rush for like super strong synergy like he is right now. That being said, of course, we do see Goombs going for this cassette and then probably headed into 5B. So it seems like Goombs expects to be behind in progress, not able to contest the late 5A objectives, and instead electing to get early summit access.
Yeah, I think
But
Goombs
why-
had no idea how close he was to Vapo. Like, could have overtaken, but it was
Okay,
you know,
I like this
wow.
from Goombs. I was going to
Yeah.
say that
I like
there's
this
no reason to go into 5B now because there's about 3 objectives that are past Temple. So really, Goombs should just be going back to Resort if he's choosing to concede all of Temple.
And here we are.
And
Yeah,
sure
I think
enough,
this is
yeah,
good.
that's where we
This
find
is
it.
good.
Honestly, I think both players are going to be happy about this because Vapo is going to get the knowledge on where Goombs is and also be able to clean up these objectives, while Goombs is also going to be able to clean up objectives of his own. God, sorry, I can't speak.
Who comes out ahead from this exchange, though? I'm not really sure.
I
It
think
sort of
I
depends
favor
on-
Goombs on this, honestly.
It sort of depends on how long things take and what Vapo chooses to do after 5A.
That's true. Where do you expect him to go? Maybe 7A to try and collect 20 berries and get towards 75? But you don't expect Goombs to be contesting that right now, right?
20 berries and 7A works for 75. Personally, I think 1A berries would be much, much stronger. You know Goombs has a decent head start, and so once you start seeing the 3A tick-offs, you should have time to do that.
Yeah. I mean, once you see the 3A tick-offs, it's like the perfect opportunity to go back and try and grab all collectibles in 1A and get that progress towards 75 as well.
We see Bingo drop from Vapo yet again, which makes a lot of sense. Only needing 1 key in search. This was a very fast one to get. Because Vapo can get this key and then immediately finish the checkpoint.
So I just wanted to note that is one of the spots right there. The room that Vapo was just in is one of the earliest seeker kill spots in the game. So that may have made a difference in the previous game. But anyhow, back to what we're looking at right now. Vapo does tick off get 1 key in search. With that, we're at 4-3 in his favor, but Goombs obviously is going to get progress towards quite a few resort objectives here.
One thing this does for Goombs is that it gets him a lot closer to 75 berries, and signaling progress in 3A almost just allows you to leave and go to 1A right now. I don't think we'll see him do that. I think we see him finish Huge Mess first. Never mind. It goes back into 5B.
I don't know about this. I feel like if you want to go anywhere, maybe you go to 1A?
1A or like 5A 1-up or just other miscellaneous things early.
Well, I think the question we have to ask is it possible to win without getting past 5A? And I think the answer is yes, but it's challenging.
Of note is that this 5B play does work towards a lot of B-side synergy. We've got 5 binos and B-sides, 3 A-sides and 3 B-sides, 3 blue and 3 red hearts, and 5 B-sides. So, getting a little bit of progress towards this is not just 7A access.
Right, it could matter a lot for the late game if B-sides come into play.
Yeah, I sort of just wonder if getting something like 5A 1-up is more important first.
Yeah, generally, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Getting it 1 objective now is better than setting yourself up for 2 later in most situations, but if you can guarantee that you're going to get both of those objectives later, then sure, go for it.
Vapo
with a bit of
out
mismenuing.
Yeah. And yeah, Vapo into 1A, like we mentioned.
I definitely think this is a good place to be. Again, so this is just highlighting how if Goombs had been in 1A now, this could have been a significant swing in his favor.
Oh man, what's going on? Okay, so Goombs gets the first binocular in 5B, then goes to 2B. Is he planning to do 1B, 2B, 5B for binos and hearts?
For 5 binos and B-sides? That's interesting.
Wait, but Vapo's doing it too! No, actually, Vapo's just
wild.
working towards all collectibles in 1A still. Never
Sure,
mind.
but...
Nope.
Okay,
Going
yeah,
to B.
so
Oh my god.
this is interesting. Yeah, I guess they're
Wow.
both seeing this. I think probably there's a non-progress win condition that we haven't identified, so why don't we take a look at that right now? Goombs has 4 objectives right now. 5 binos and B-sides, 3 A-sides, 3 B-sides, 5 B-sides, 3 blue, 3 red, potentially 1-up in 5A. All collectibles 1A, resort B-side, resort cassette, graveless elevator shaft. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 objectives.
He doesn't need all. Yeah, he doesn't need all those.
Yeah, and
So,
there's
like-
also the huge mess order. So this is
Yeah.
actually so potentially what happened is that Goombs identified that there's potential for this, and Vapo also saw the same thing and is trying to ensure that Goombs can't cash in on all this synergy and win the game without anything late.
Yeah. One aspect of bingo routing that I don't think we've mentioned much is that thinking takes time.
Yes.
And doing so while playing the video game is very difficult. So I think Goombs likely identified that B-sides are strong. And so I'm going to play 5B. I need to do this eventually. I'm going to get in here and maybe count my chickens while doing so. Because he's played a lot of 5B, he can start counting objectives while he's there. And that saves him time thinking on the menu doing nothing.
Yep. We've talked about this all weekend of like doing something is better than doing nothing. Even if you don't
Yeah.
have a perfect plan, identify one thing you're going to keep making progress towards. And on this board, make progress towards B-sides is a good plan. And they're both doing that.
Reading the board is hard. And
Reading the board, analyzing what works together with what you've done so far is really hard.
absolutely.
And then beyond that, you also have to know game state and like what objective values are based on where your opponent's been. A lot goes into this. And I think we're seeing 2 players play at very, very high level right now. This is a really, really cool board. They're playing it very well.
I think the 5 binos and B-sides is likely to go to Goombs here, right?
Yeah, Vapo has not played 5B and would have to enter 1B still, I think. So Goombs should be in the lead for that, which I think is pretty important. And he probably needs this to stay in the game, I think.
Goombs does need to get to the second one in 1B, right?
Yeah, but Vapo's only about halfway through 4B at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be Goombs' pretty handily, but completing 4B this early, I'm not sure about it. I guess the idea is that Vapo wanted to get all the binoculars from here, which is understandable, but I think prioritizing fast B-sides right now might have been the call.
I This is fast, actually, because Vapo doesn't have the 2A cassette, and so 2B is pretty slow.
That's true. That's a good point.
And so him getting this from 4B and 1B, I think was the fastest he could do it.
But I
this
just
play
mean
makes
like
sense for Vapo.
prioritizing 3 blue, 3 red, and 3A, 3B.
He can't know it, but I think he's also behind for those because of Goombs' 5B play.
Right. The
So it
interesting
just seems
question
like-
is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It just seems like Vapo started this just a little bit too late.
Yeah, it's going to be close going into the late game, I think, because Goombs potentially is going to collect this B-side synergy almost entirely, and Vapo will need to find another way to respond. I think potentially Vapo could look to hedge his bets by going to 3A if he's willing to do that right now.
Yeah, I think you almost have to because there's so much there.
Yeah, I mean, but then if you're saying that, then potentially Goombs goes to 3A right now, and then Vapo collects the B-sides. So maybe the answer is you just have to commit to one of them.
See, Goombs going to 5B here, which
Going to
gives
5B.
Vapo about a minute to play 3A and catch up. If he does that...
Oh, no, it's a 1B.
Okay.
Okay. The thing to note is that has Goombs completed 3 A-sides? Did he complete 1, 2, 4? Is that right?
I think he had to have, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's just straight up a B-sides race.
I wonder where Vapo thinks Goombs got his binos from. I guess maybe Vapo was expecting that to be 4B, 5B, but even if it is, I think you still lose the 3 B-sides race. Yeah, this play doesn't make much sense to me for Vapo.
The 1B play? I think this is he doesn't have the knowledge of the 5B progress for Goombs, right? He sees 5, well, I don't know. You see 5 binos and B-sides. Where do you think that Goombs is getting that from?
I don't know. Regardless, like, I don't think it matters. Like, I think you should know he's ahead of you.
Yeah, if you see 5 binos and B-sides ticked off that early, maybe the understanding for Vapo is that Goombs may see the 5 binos and B-sides tick off as enough dissuasion to stop Vapo from going for B-sides, and then Goombs would go into 3A.
We see both players not really sure where to go here. Goombs was in a 5A start.
Oh man, I really just want to see one or both players in resort right now.
Alright,
Oh
we see
my
a
goodness,
5A
and they're
1-up
making the
race.
same choice.
Oh my goodness.
I think this has just been a series of really unfortunate moments for Vapo in the mid game.
It seems like it, yeah.
I don't fault him for it. I think the decisions he's making are like informed, they're just barely incorrect.
This 1-up is gonna be something.
Goombs is playing super clean right now.
Oh man.
4 berries.
And then after this one up, where do you go? You get a... Goombs gets this, right?
Yeah.
Turns pink right as Vapo starts to collect the berries. Wow, that was close.
That was really
That is
close.
painful.
That shows you how just a few seconds on the menu thinking can cost you an objective.
It's 7-6 right now, but this looks super favored for Goombs.
Yeah, I think Goombs might just straight up have a win condition from resort. It's
How
pretty
so?
close to at least.
Oh, you finish your 3 blue, 3 red. Your huge best order, resort B-side, resort cassette, elevator shaft. That's 5 objectives right there.
And then like you're super ahead towards complete 5 B-sides.
Right.
So you don't even need to risk stuff like all collectibles 1A. This is why I was sort of thinking that Vapo needed to realize he was behind in B-sides and then get into 3A to be able to take some of that synergy away. But
Yeah.
it seemed like that understanding may not have been there.
I think
Curious to see though. Goombs has oftentimes been going to Summit early, so
I think
And Vapo
once
was just
the
like 5 seconds
finals-
behind on that 1-up too. Like it's just like so, it's so hard to know.
I think once the 5 binos and B-sides kickoff happened, Vapo was afraid that Goombs would use that as an opportunity to go into a resort, and Vapo potentially could just get repeatedly locked out over and over. But unfortunately, they just ended up taking the same path there.
yeah, that could very well be.
Essentially, Vapo just has to find where Goombs isn't, and he wins the mid game. And Goombs needs to stay ahead of Vapo in the same spot, and he wins the mid game. And the latter is what happened. But I'm really impressed by how Goombs set this up in the transition from early game to mid game, and put himself in a position to be ahead both towards the B sides and towards the resort objectives.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Especially after the what lockout was it? I don't remember. Never mind.
All good. But yeah, just to go from that early game concept of heavily sacrificing progress to then transition into this space in the mid game, I think there was a very good read by Goombs that this board doesn't really care about progress. The only thing, there's 2 objectives that are past 5A, and everything else can be completed before it.
Can Vapo snipe 3 blue, 3 red?
Are you saying could Vapo snipe 3 blue, 3
Yeah.
red?
Never mind, doesn't look
No.
like it. Goombs seems to be going for it now.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't see any reason Goombs wouldn't be going for it now, is basically what I would say. After marking off the huge mess order, again, this is like exactly what Vapo was worried about, but in the inverse direction here, right? Marking off the huge mess order signals that Goombs has progress in 3A, and so makes the rest of the objectives secure for Goombs, and so he leaves to do other things. It's it's interesting to see that he chooses to do that here, whereas with the B sides, he made the choice to commit.
I guess the thing to note about B sides is that there's a pretty sizable difference between 3A, 3B, and 3 blue, 3 red, like as far as the time goes. So like getting to that first one can help dissuade Vapo from going for the hearts, which gives you more time to get to that. Whereas the resort stuff, like as soon as you take the huge mess, like you kind of want to just get out. Playing elevator shaft at that point is kind of overcommitting. But
For sure.
he hasn't seen Vapo take anything in 11 minutes. So as Goombs, I don't know where you think Vapo's been.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, after seeing nothing for 11 minutes, you have to assume, because there's nowhere for Vapo to go except B-sides or resort, and resort things would have been ticked off if he has been there. So this is the one case where I would say it's reasonable to assume that you locked Vapo out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vapo now taking collectibles in 1A, and Goombs probably happy to see that because Goombs wasn't contesting that right now. Do another thing.
Yeah, this allows Goombs to pretty safely play elevator shaft, I think.
Yeah, I think I understand why Vapo is in these various spots, but I think if you want to, like, your one shot back into this game is to try and take away some of those resort objectives.
It goes at 7.
At the same time, there is definitely, there is a possibility here if you can win. You have to win complete 5 B-sides and all collectibles in 4A if you're Vapo, if you're ignoring resort.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, I guess that's where you have to be if you're not going to be in resort right now.
And I think the more important one of those is probably the 5 B-sides objective.
But then if I'm Goombs, I already have 3 B-sides. I'm going to be going to all collectibles in 4A, and I'm just going
Maybe.
to hard commit to that until it turns pink. or sorry, until it turns blue. And if it doesn't turn blue, I win. And if it does turn blue, I just go finish my B-sides. But to be fair, again, with that 11 minutes without a tick-off, it's very possible Goombs could think that Vapo was hot on his heels in terms of B-sides. We do see the 3B play here, which of course is reasonable because it gets you one more towards 5 B-sides and gets you an objective on its own. This is Goombs finishing out the resort synergies while getting towards a win condition of completing a 5th B-side.
Oh man, these 3B strats are really nice. Definitely keep an eye on Goombs here. He's super good at this chapter. I will say that Vapo still definitely can win this, but I think Goombs is too close to his objectives at this point, and you'd have to get a couple reads in a row correct. But I definitely would not count him out. If there's one person who can do it, it's Vapo.
Absolutely. I think there have been multiple interception points in this game. It was just, you know, there were multiple points up until now where Vapo needed to win a 50-50 essentially, and unfortunately just missed it at multiple points. But it's possible here. There is one or two more opportunities here that Vapo could take a 50-50 and win it. It's just a question of what Goombs wants to do.
I guess one thing to note about B-side progress is that Goombs has access to, well, he's completed 1, 2, 5, completing 3 right now, and then can get to 4B pretty quickly. Vapo, on the other hand, has completed 4B, 5B, has access to 1B and 2B, but then what? It's like you almost have to play 6B, which takes 5 minutes instead of Goombs is like 3:30 to go get the cassette and play 4B. So
Right.
Vapo had a disadvantage there. I'm not sure what each player's progress is in 4A full play.
Just one objective though, going Vapo's way in this mid game could have made a huge difference because
Oh my goodness. If Vapo had 5A 1-up,
yeah, absolutely.
This is a completely different match.
Absolutely, because, you know, once you see that, Goombs is now in a situation where he needs to get both complete 5 B-sides and all collectibles in 4A, or he needs to contest summit objectives, which again, it's still possible that it's not as simple as saying that Vapo would win off of that, because Goombs would then be in summit at some point here and force Vapo into summit at some point as well. And so it would again come down to reads, but very possible game for Vapo to win off of just one objective swing. Goombs just making his way to the cassette here to unlock 4B and complete 5 B-sides. And Vapo trying his best to catch up here with this 5B play. Vapo completed 1B and 4B, right?
Not sure if he's completed 1B.
Okay.
Yeah, actually he did.
So then after this, we probably expect to see him go to 2B and then 6B if the game has not ended by then.
Doom's multitasking, which makes sense. You definitely want to full clear this checkpoint while you're here for the cassette.
Yeah, definitely reasonable.
Keeps your options open.
It's just really fun watching these so high level B-side strats. It's just cool to watch from all these players this weekend. Just slamming through these B-sides.
Having 5 B-sides seeming to be the decider here is definitely nice because we get to see a lot of that just straight execution of those B-sides.
Exactly.
there any other objectives that Vapo could have sniped early? I don't really think so, not without losing too much time. Like 2 optional Theo cutscenes would have cost him like 40 seconds. 5 binos and B-sides he would have had to do quite a bit earlier, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just a question of potentially turning around for 1-up in a 5A earlier or trying to contest resort objectives, but it's a hard play to make. Obviously, so, you know, whenever we're making our calls, we try to say it from, like, you know, from the perspective of the player. They probably should think that this is the right play, but there's some things that the players just can't know, and we obviously do in terms of where people are. So in that situation with Goombs not going into 3A and committing B-sides, that obviously means that the correct play for Vapo is to be in 3A, but he can't possibly know that.
An interesting aspect about the mid-game of this board as well is that you had like 4 objectives that are loosely summit related with 4 seeded 3K berries, 75 berries, 20 and 7A. Then you had like another 4 objectives that were 3A related, another 4 objectives that were B-side related. So like identifying what synergy is important for you to go for is super, super hard because you have to predict what your opponent's doing, what's fast for you to do, and sometimes even just knowing what's fast is hard in these.
It is.
Right.
You might not always have the knowledge of how long something is going to take you. Something can feel longer than it is. And that's, you know, something you gain with experience, but you might not be able to recognize it in the middle of a match of like, oh, this one's actually shorter. I should do this first, or I should do this after.
Yeah, and this is yet another board where Vapo down a lot of objectives, but up in progress towards like 3 or 4 right now.
Yep.
So I think this is another board that like if we let Vapo and Goombs play out these last few objectives, it would probably go to like 13-12.
Oh yeah, I think Vapo's ahead towards pretty much every other objective. Maybe all collectibles in 4A has an opportunity to turn pink, but like if we were strictly playing to get as many objectives as possible, then Vapo would get 12. I have no doubt in my mind. But that's GG right there. 13-9.
Goombs winning the match and the set. Well played.
All 3 of those games were incredibly close. The scorelines were different, but the storyline was much the same. We had key moments in the mid game that ended up deciding much of what happened late.
A really amazing set of matches this entire weekend. Highly recommend if you didn't get to see all of them, they all had something really unique and special to them. So you can go back and watch it on the GDQ YouTube. And we also have plenty of other bingo tournaments that we've had before on the Celeste community Twitch as well. We have collections of all of those. There's been some amazing bingo matches over the, years we've been doing this.
Alrighty, it looks like we will be having player interviews here in a moment, so we can get some thoughts and questions directly with our finalists here.
Yeah, awesome. Whenever, once we get confirmation from both of our players, I think we'll, bring them in, unmute them. We can have them just talk a little bit about their thought process throughout that entire best of 3. So we'll be hearing from both Goombs and Vapo here whenever we get that set up. I'm excited to hear their thoughts about the set and how it went.
Alrighty, hello Goombs, hello Vapo. Well played to both of you. You can unmute whenever you are ready.
Hello.
Congrats to Goombs.
Yeah, good job Goombs, good job Vapo as well. That was an incredibly played match with 3 close games. What do y'all have any initial thoughts about what just transpired? Yeah,
that was definitely a tricky board. I was pointing out to Akko and Court that we had sort of like 3 big... Oh. One sec, we're getting Goombs to unmute in OBS. Hopefully, are we good now?
All right, go ahead with that again, Goombs.
Yeah, I was just saying that the start of that game was like really threw me off because there was like no late game on the board, so I really struggled to like plan a route out there.
Vapo, do you have any thoughts on that as well?
Vapo was also muted in OBS. 1 second, chat.
Test. Okay. Yeah. It was a very interesting last game. Like, I'm very used to playing from behind. Like, can you hear me on stream?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah. I'm very used to playing from behind because like I usually have an execution disadvantage, and Goombs forced me right off the bat to start playing from ahead, and I wasn't really sure how to deal with it. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it worked really well. Like, not used to playing in that position.
That's really interesting. And what was really cool to watch at the beginning of the game, if you watch it back, is you were ahead, and I think Goombs starts steadily making progress in 5A. But then you both diverge like right at the same time into 5A and 5B, and it was really interesting to see that divergence. Even though playing ahead like that is not usually your strength, but you had to make those tough calls.
Yeah, I definitely could see how that could throw you off in that kind of situation. One thing that we mentioned in comms was that 1-up in 5A potentially could have swung the match simply off of that one objective. Vapo, what do you think about that?
Could have, because since like I have so many objectives like stored up at 7th I could have used, but I needed one extra to secure the 13. I just couldn't get that.
Right. Or rather, maybe not necessarily to secure 13, but it was more that you had to stave off Goombs' 13 so that you could collect yours, right?
Yeah.
Goombs, what possessed you? Why did you make the decision to go to 1-up in 5A at that time? I understand why Vapo did, but what was your reasoning to prioritize that then?
I was really, really close to just go into 3A. I don't know if I actually selected the level on the stream, but like I was very close, and then I just reevaluated win cons and stuff, and I was like, I need to like leave this for later, because I thought Vapo could have gone through and contested 3A, like that was possible, but I needed to take the risk because there was really no other objectives that I could have got on the board other than like 5A 1-up, like you were saying, so I just had to risk it.
And I guess as a corollary to that, Vapo, what about your decision making with regards to B-sides and versus going into resort? Did you have a moment where you were evaluating whether it was better for you to commit to B-sides or commit to resort?
I knew I was behind the B-sides, but resort never really felt like the option still. Like, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember when Goombs claimed progress in 3A, but like I had a feeling he went to first pass. So like I didn't want to risk like spending a lot of time in resort doing nothing. I just ended up spending a lot of time in B-sides doing nothing instead.
I suppose that's just unfortunate. I think so. From our perspective, it felt like somewhat of a maybe not exactly a 50-50, but a read where you had to know where Goombs was and just try and avoid that, right? Where you're trying to be in resort if Goombs is committing to B-sides, and you're trying to be in B-sides if Goombs is committing to resort, right?
Yeah.
Jax, you have any questions?
I don't think so. I think you kind of covered everything from this last board. Was there anything from the second board we wanted to talk about?
There were a couple of pivotal moments from the last two. If I can, let me see if I can bring those up real quick.
Oh, stuff like 10 berries and 4 chapters, and was it complete 2 B-sides maybe? I think on the second board, where if Vapo had prioritized berry synergy there, it was another case of you need one more objective to hit your 13, pretty much.
Yeah, so there was
played a really strong mid game. Yeah.
I think it was complete 2 B-sides and 10 berries and 4 chapters, with which both ended up going to Goombs, and it was kind of a situation where, well, first I want to ask Goombs, when, I don't know if you can recall back to game 2, but there was a point where you elected to prioritize 10 berries in 4 chapters over going and finishing your B-sides. I think you were halfway through 5B and you just decided to go to 10 berries in 4 chapters. Can you explain what your reasoning behind that decision was?
I can't remember like too much about the game because it's hard to remember everything, but I think the main reason was that I just thought I had like Vapo. I had the read wrong. I thought Vapo was going to commit to B-sides, so I thought I had enough time to get the 10 in 4, and I could like afford to go back for it, but
well, you did. You did get the 10 in 4.
Oh wait, I did?
Yeah,
oh,
you did.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry, let me make that clear. You ended up getting both 10 berries and 4 chapters and complete 2 B-sides, and I believe that was a pivotal moment that allowed you back into game 2. And so I was wondering, from your perspective, Vapo, what was the, if you can recall, what was the like value proposition for 10 berries and 4 versus complete 2 B-sides? I believe you lent towards complete 2 B-sides instead of 10 berries and 4. I'm guessing because that seemed like a more safe objective to you?
I think so. I have room for 1 bingo board in my head at a time, maybe like 1.5.
I see.
Yeah, that's very fair. Remembering all games from a best of 3 set is super hard because you have to think so much while you're playing, and I commend you both for all the routing you did today. It was a very excellent demonstration of skill.
Yeah, especially I want to say it's worth noting that it's actually a very big skill to be able to forget the previous board so that you can focus fully on the current game. So if anything, it kind of works to your advantage to be able to flush that from your mind once you start a new game.
Tough.
But that's about all I have to ask.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you both so much for talking with us, giving a little bit of insight. It's always fun to talk to the players, after the matches and get even a little bit more context into what the players are thinking, because it's so different than what we see in many ways. So, and yeah, GG's to both of you for just an awesome set. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving us an entertaining 3 games here to end the day.
GG.
Yeah, and thanks for having us on as well. It was really fun.
Yeah, and final congrats, of course, to Goombs for winning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so as we close out our weekend of bingo, have a couple of announcements from some of our Celeste community organizers. And again, shout outs to everyone who helped make this event happen. Had a lot of help from the commentary team, getting everyone together, and all the runners, did a great job of figuring everything out so we could all have this awesome tournament. So I'm going to hand it on over first to Akko and Jax to talk a little bit about things that are happening on Celeste community.
Yeah, so these tournaments we hold pretty frequently over on twitch.tv/Celeste Community. And the next thing that we'll be having there will be starting in early August, and that is a 16-player double elimination Benny % tournament. So that will be more standard Celeste speedrunning, but a category not as often seen. So we'll be opening up signups for that soon. And I'm very excited to see how that plays out. Additionally, I would recommend that you subscribe to the Celeste Community YouTube channel. Later today or potentially tomorrow, depending on how long it takes to finalize things, we will be publishing an updated version of the Any % task, the All Red Berries task, and the True Ending task. So there's a lot to look out for on those 2 channels. Those 3 videos will be rolling out in the next couple of days, and then that Benny % tournament will be starting in August. The plan is for that tournament to run for 3 weeks. And yeah.
And also, if you're a fan of what you saw today and yesterday, if you love Celeste Bingo, we run these events pretty regularly on the channel, and I would love to see a lot of the people that I saw in chat here show up there as well on twitch.tv/Celeste Community.
Yeah, of course, this weekend we saw really super high level play, but our next tournament of bingo would likely be with beginners. So this is a very open activity, I would say, in that the threshold for what you need to play is find an opponent who is as skilled as you are. And so as long as you have beginners to play against, which there are many, you can definitely participate in Celeste Bingo.
You can also go to the Celeste Community Twitch channel, which Frozen Flygon has so conveniently linked in chat, and type !Discord there, and you can see our Discord where you'll be able to find beginner matches of your own if you would like, and maybe prepare for the beginner version of this bracket, which will be running on the Celeste Community channel at some point, some uncertain date in the future.
Yeah, probably early fall. I won't promise a date, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of awesome things going on, in the Celeste community, on Celeste community. I know you all are Celeste fans in the chat, so you can stick around and also just become a part of it. Participating in bingo tournaments as a player or commentator is really, really fun. So I highly, highly recommend that. But with that, I think that's the conclusion of our weekend of bingo. Really happy that we got to showcase this on Hotfix for people who had never seen bingo before. I hope you enjoyed. For people who love bingo, like all of us here, I hope you enjoyed. But we're all finished for this weekend with bingo, and just want to, remind everyone that, Hotfix is still happens every single day. If you really, love speedrunning like I do, we have shows every single day at 7 p.m. on the weekdays and 1 p.m. on weekends, and have special events like this that you can stay tuned for. And of course, we have our mainline events and our Frame Fatales events that happen, twice a year each. So plenty of awesome speedrunning content happening. But be sure to stick around for the raid. We're going to send a ton of love over to another awesome speedrunner. But thank you all so much, and we'll see you next show.